Get started momentarily. All right, everybody, we'll get started in a minute here. Just getting the live streams going. All right, we're looking good on Instagram, looking good on Facebook. And we're looking good on YouTube. All right, excellent. 5:45. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Let me know in the chat if you're watching. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet. Give us a like. I see John in the chat. Excellent. Always good to see you, John. Right now, you're the number one viewer. We're gonna get started about 5:50. We're gonna get started in a couple minutes. Lots of good stuff coming up on the live stream for y'all. Thank you, John. John hit the thumbs up button. He hit that like button. Smash that like. There's Dave. What's up, Dave? Dave's in the other chat. We got John in one of the live stream chats. We got Dave in the other. Technically, you're both number one. The chat says you're number one in each of them. So there we go. I think Dave counts as number one because he's given more super thanks than John has. So. What's up, everybody? We're going to get started in a couple minutes here. We're going to do our weekly live stream about scam awareness. Let you know what scams are out there, what to watch out for. Going to share a bunch of examples of common scams to be aware of. All good stuff, all important to know. While we're waiting, if you join, hit that like button. Now's a good time to share the live stream on your Facebook. And try to get some more people in here. Before we get started, we'll get started at 5:50. Again, if you're tuning in, say hi in the chat. Let us know you're watching. Yeah, Dave, John says you deserve number one, so you got the number one slot. We got two live streams going over on YouTube. We got the vertical one and then the regular size screen. I don't know which one gets more popular. It just seems to change every week. So, and then we're on Facebook and Instagram too. So I'm monitoring all those chats. Mostly the YouTube one, but I'm checking back and forth with the Facebook and Instagram. So I'll answer any questions and comments if you want to put something in there. We're going to start in about 2 minutes. Lots of good stuff coming up. Lots of scams to talk about. Yeah, Dave, I think it depends on the device. Some people, they're on their phone and they like the vertical view. But then I know other people that they have the stream on their TV. So they use the horizontal. I guess it's a matter of preference. If you're just joining, hit that thumbs up button. Give us a like so we get some more people in this live stream. Before we get started, we get started in about 1 more minute here. All good stuff coming up. All important to be aware of. So you protect yourself, protect your loved ones from these scammers, these ruthless scammers. All right, we see some people popping in over on the Facebook stream. Excellent. I see ya. Say hi in the comments. Let me know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. We're gonna spread some good awareness here. Some good information about scams and how to protect yourself, how to protect your loved ones from these scams. I mean, we're being targeted all over. We're being targeted over the phone, through text message, emails, just browsing the internet. You know, it's not just the older folks that are getting scammed. That's actually a common misconception. The younger folks are getting scammed more. It's just the older folks tend to lose more money because they have more to lose. So all this is very important to be aware of. And we're going to show you some examples of real scams. We're going to go over about 20 different types of scams. So you can be aware of what to look out for and what not to fall for. You know, don't become a victim. And sadly, a lot of these victims of scams, they never get any of the funds back. Most of the funds that get stolen, these victims, they never get them back. So we're not just talking about scammers that take $100 or trick you into paying $20 or something like that. We're talking about scammers that ruin lives. They want to take your entire retirement fund. They want to take your savings. They want to take everything you got in your checking. And they don't stop. You know, they'll get one payment out of you, and then they'll think of another way to squeeze more out of you. And they don't stop until there's nothing left. They want to take it all. These scammers are ruthless. So it's more important than ever to be aware of these scams. They're out there. And the scams we talk about on this live stream, and the scams we talk about in general, are all scams that target individuals, ordinary people. You, me, your friends, family, all the scams that target ordinary people. You know, there's a lot of resources out there for businesses and companies, employee training and things like that. But that's not what we focus on here. Instead, we focus on the individuals, because individuals need some resources too. They need some awareness about these scams, because the individuals, they're losing their money. We're losing this war against scammers, that's for sure. So anyway, it's 5:50. So if you just joined it for the first time, my name's Jared. I'm with Scamaware 101. Welcome to the live stream. Our mission here at Scamaware 101 is to spread awareness about scams. And the scams I was mentioning, the scams that target individuals like you, like me, like your loved ones, right? So we're all being targeted by scams all day long, whether it's over the phone or through text message or by email. And we're going to go over many different ways that scams get started this evening on this live stream. And our goal is to spread awareness. And one of the ways we do that is this weekly live stream, as well as releasing videos on YouTube and Facebook. But we do this weekly live stream, and we stream live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And we usually go for about 3 hours or so. So we're going to be on here. Now's a great time if you want to click share, send the live streams to some friends and let them know, because we're just getting started, and we got at least good three, maybe 4 hours of content coming up. So we'll see how late I want to go tonight. But it depends on how engaged you get. If I see a lot of people commenting, a lot of people sharing stories, a lot of people into it, I see a lot of people viewing, I'm going to keep going. You know, the audience fuels me. So if I see everybody's into it, I'm just going to keep going until there's nothing left. So anyway, lots of good stuff coming up this evening. We have the agenda over here on my screen. And before we get started, if you want to stay in the know and receive some scam awareness tips, you can join our free mailing list. It's on scamaware101.com. All right, join that email list. We'll send you reminders when we're going live. We'll let you know when new content is posted. We won't send you junk mail, I promise. You could unsubscribe at any time, but it's a great way. It's the best way to keep in touch and up to date with what's going on over here. So join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com, and follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We need to get more followers on Facebook, so I see all you like in there. Hit that like button and follow us over on Facebook. Help us out. So with that said, oh, and if you want to donate financially, we'll take that too. We got the QR code on the screen. You can scan it, or you go to scamaware101.com/donate. You can donate directly that way. And on YouTube, we have the super thanks enabled and memberships enabled as well. So if you want to send us a super thanks or join one of our YouTube memberships, we'll take that too. So always appreciate that. Now, let's get into some scams here. The reason why you're all here and watching, right? So we're going to start out this evening. And by the way, under live streams, we switch it up. Sometimes we start with headlines. Sometimes we start with the presentations. Sometimes we start with common scam examples. But this week, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a presentation I put together. And it's about how scams start. And this is actually going to be a sneak peek at a course we have coming out and a free not a free webinar, but another webinar we have coming out. And it's basically, it discusses how scams start, because recognizing how scams start is your first line of defense against scams, right? If you could recognize when you're being targeted by a scammer, you could stop it before it even begins. And really, that's the goal. You want to recognize a scam before interacting with a scammer, before engaging with a scammer. You don't even want to reply to a scammer. You just want to know immediately that, wait a minute, this is a scam, and not to engage, right? So that's the goal of this first part of the live stream with this presentation we're going to share. It's all about how scams start, the common ways that scammers reach out to you, the common ways they'll deceive you, imposter scams, impersonation scams, and it's very useful. So hit that like button. As we go through this presentation, say hi in the chat. Let us know you're watching. As we talk about certain scams, let me know if you've been getting targeted with those recently too. So basically in this presentation, all about how scams start, we're going to teach you how scammers reach new victims. We're actually going to discuss 6 of the most common methods that scams start, the contact methods that scammers use. All right, then we're also going to talk about how scammers deceive new victims. Right, the various impersonations that they'll do, how far they're willing to go to deceive their victims. And we'll also talk about how scammers trap or hook their new victims, meaning how they trick the victims into taking dangerous actions, clicking links, scanning QR codes, things like that. We're actually going to go over 25 dangerous actions that you should avoid as we go through this presentation. So we have a lot to cover here, and it's all good stuff. So make sure to hit that like button, and let's get some more people in here. And we're going to start with some key concepts to keep in mind as we go through this presentation regarding how scams start. Right? Is first, assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer. Right? That's number one. You always have to assume that every unsolicited communication is a scammer. It doesn't matter what contact method is used. It doesn't matter if it's a phone call or a text message, or even a letter that comes through the mail. You always have to assume that every unsolicited communication is a scammer. Right? So keep that in mind. That's key concept number one, and you're going to hear me mention that multiple times for the next hour or so. Right? Key concept number two is scammers will impersonate anyone, and they do it convincingly. Right? And to demonstrate how far that scammers will go, we're going to mention over 30 different impersonation scams that they use to deceive their victims in this presentation. So we're going to give over 30 different examples of the various impersonations scammers might do. And also, using AI, scammers can make their scams and impersonations even more believable. Right? So it's important to keep that in mind as well. Scammers will impersonate anybody, and they'll do it convincingly. Right? That's key concept number 2. So keep that in mind as well. And by the way, they'll impersonate your friends and your family members, and it'll be believable. So we're going to share an example of that later in the live stream too. And a third key concept to keep in mind, they're going to hear me repeating a lot, is knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers, right? It's important to know what not to do. And what I mean by that is scammers rely on people making quick mistakes, like clicking a link or trusting an unknown caller or sharing personal information without thinking, right? So by clearly understanding the actions you should avoid, you reduce the chances of falling into their traps. All right, so a lot of this presentation we're going to talk about what not to do, and that's to help you avoid accidentally falling for one of these scams or getting hooked or tricked by one of these scammers. All right, so those are some 3 key concepts. You can hear me repeating them over and over again. Assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer. Scammers impersonate anybody. They do it convincingly. And knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers. Right? You with me? Let me know in the chat. Hit that heart, hit that thumbs up, or give me some reactions in the chat. Let me know you're watching. So starting off, we're going to actually talk about six different of the most common ways that scams are initiated. Six of the most common ways that scams start. And just to be clear, scammers utilize every contact method they can, right? Just because we're talking about the six main ways that they'll initiate a scam, that doesn't mean any other ones we don't talk about are safe, right? You always have to be suspicious of any unsolicited communication, regardless of how the contact occurs, right? But we are going to talk about six of the most common ways that scammers do start scams and how they reach their victims and contact their new victims. Those six ways are email scams, phone call and voice scams, text message scams, internet and website scams, snail mail scams, that's traditional mail, and then QR code scams. So we're going to talk about each of those a little bit more as we go through this presentation. And we're going to discuss the most common impersonations that seem to come through with each of these contact methods, and give you some tips about how to handle unsolicited communications that come in through these various forms of communication. It's all important things to be aware of. And look, you're a target. If you use email, you're a target. If you have a phone number, you're a target, right? If you browse the internet, you're a target. If you have a mailbox, an actual address you get mail, you're a target, right? So everybody's a target, and it's important to have awareness of the latest techniques and strategies and scams that are circulating. By the way, I'm drinking out my Scamware 101 travel mug. They're available on our YouTube channel, YouTube store. So feel free to get a Scamware 101 travel mug. A few other items for sale in our merch store too. So check that out. If you're joining a little late here, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. We do this live stream every week, spreading awareness about common scams so you can protect yourself and your loved ones from scammers. So make sure to hit that like button, say hi in the chat, let me know you're watching. And we're going to go for a couple hours here. So share a live stream so we get some more people in here. Lots of good stuff coming up as we continue here. So we're talking about how scams start. And right now we're going over the most common methods here. And we're going to start with email scams, right? Sometimes referred to as phishing scams. They're one of the most common ways that scammers trick people online, right? These scams usually arrive in a form of an email that looks legitimate. The goal is to create a sense of urgency or trust so that the victim takes quick action without thinking too much. And that's common for a lot of these scams. The scammer wants the victim to react quickly, and they'll use emotion, fear, threats, whatever it takes to get the victim to react. And it's no different with these email scams. A lot of them, they'll be threatening emails that claim your billing failed or your accounts could be turned off or someone logged in, you need to click here to change your password, right? They try to create this sense of urgency and this fear. So the victim, instead of thinking out, they just react quickly. Did you know that scammers could use automation to send out millions of scam emails per day? I'm not even exaggerating. There's millions of scam emails being sent out per day. They're able to change the email from address to look like somebody else. So when they're sending out these emails, it could look like it came from the president. It could look like it came from anywhere. These scammers are able to do that. They can make the from address look like it came from anyone. They'll include fake support phone numbers in the email, right? That trick the victim into calling the phone number, but it actually connects the scammer. It's a little trick that they use. So you're going to hear me mention a lot this evening. Never trust the contact information that's found in an unsolicited communication, because we know scammers include fake phone numbers. And they also use AI to create convincing email scams and narratives. And that's a common thread that I'll be mentioning too for all these scams. Scammers have fully embraced AI. They're making their scams more believable, and more people are going to fall victim to these scams because of that. So it's important to be aware of these scammers. Don't think that you can't fall for it. Don't think that you're not being a target. One day they are going to target you, and you want to be prepared. It's not worth the risk. These email scams will often impersonate financial institutions like banks and credit cards, popular brands and retail outlets, service providers like your internet, phone, and cable providers, utility companies like electricity, water, and heat, government agencies like the IRS and Social Security. Right? So the point I'm trying to get across here is that these scammers don't impersonate anybody. They have no issue impersonating law enforcement. They have no issue impersonating government agencies. So you have to be suspicious of anybody that's contacting you for any reason. Even if they're claiming to be with the IRS or claiming to be with your bank, you have to verify. Scammers send emails that impersonate trusted companies, like banks or even friends. And we're going to share examples of them impersonating family a little later. They use urgent language, fake links, or attachments to create a sense of panic. Their goal is usually to steal login credentials, financial information, or install malware on the victim's device. Some email scams, and these are some common ones. Look, there's so many email scams going around, it's hard to even just pick out a few, but some common email scams include suspicious bank activity, bank or credit card activity scams. And what that is, the victim receives a fake email warning them of suspicious activity, right? But the email, of course, it contains a malicious link or a phone number to call that actually connects you to a scammer. Always got to be suspicious about notifications that claim to be from your bank or credit card. Bogus product offers with links to fake retail websites. You get those emails all the time. They have those fake offers. Free iPhone, click here. Those bogus email offers direct victims to fake retail websites designed to steal personal and financial details. Another common email scam is the fake order notification scams. We're going to go into this one a little bit more later, but this is definitely an important one to be aware of. That's when victims receive a fake email alert that an order was placed and are instructed to call a fake support number to cancel. And look, a lot of people, they're falling for this one. They get this email that says, hey, you purchased an iPhone. If you didn't make this purchase, call this number to cancel. They don't realize that they think they're calling Apple, they end up calling a scammer. So you always have to be suspicious about notifications claiming an order was placed, especially emails. And then you got the renewal scams, the payment due scams, right? Victims receive an email with a fake invoice attached, and it links to a fake website that steals any payment details entered. And these are just kind of examples of these classic scams. And even though we're using them as examples for email scams, a lot of these can be applied to many other forms of communication, right? Almost all of these, you can receive a letter, the same kind of scam. It doesn't have to be an email. So, all important scams to be aware of, especially when it comes to email. I mentioned before, knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers, right? So let's talk about what not to do when it comes to emails. Right? Clicking email links. If you could avoid clicking email links, it's best to avoid them. Scammers hide malicious links in emails, and they'll lead to fake login pages or infected websites. When possible, avoid clicking email links. And we'll talk more about that later. Calling back phone numbers and emails. Right? I mentioned this a little bit already. Fraudulent emails include fake phone numbers that connect you to scammers. Always verify contact details before calling. And we're going to talk about that too. And then trusting the email from addresses. Right? Email addresses can be spoofed. That means that they can be manipulated or modified to look like they're from a trusted company or someone else, people you know. You can't trust the from field of an email address. Always important to be aware of that. And let me know in the chat, how many emails are you getting from people you don't know all day long? They're from scammers. I got hundreds of emails a day. And then another dangerous action to avoid, especially when it comes to emails, opening email attachments or scanning QR codes. Never open email attachments or QR codes from someone you don't know or attached an email that you weren't expecting. Email attachments, scanning QR codes, they can install malware or take you to fake websites. So scammers are doing that now. They'll include an attachment or QR code in their emails. And let's talk about some best practices to help you stay safe from email scams, right? Because you always have to assume that every unsolicited communication is a scammer. Right? So always access websites directly instead of clicking links. Right? I said you want to avoid clicking email links. And what I meant by that is you could type the web address into the browser yourself instead of clicking the link. All right? If you get a bill from your cable company, instead of clicking the link, just go type the address in yourself. Right? Go type it in manually, because that guarantees you're going to the right website instead of clicking on a fake link. So by avoiding clicking links, you're bypassing the chance of getting scammed, like through a link. Right? You don't have to worry about if the link was legit or not, because you didn't even click it. You just went directly to your account and you checked manually. Right? And that's the idea. You want to avoid clicking links. Confirm situations through official channels. Right? We mentioned it a lot. You can't trust the information that's the contact information that's included in a unsolicited contact. Whether it's a phone number that they leave in a voicemail or a phone number that they put in an email or a website that they tell you to visit. Right? You need to confirm that that's all legitimate before you trust any of it. If an email claims there's a problem with your account or payment, contact the company directly using their website or customer service number. Don't trust the contact information that's in the email. Go to their website directly and confirm it. Right? Because again, the phone numbers could be fake, and that's why you always want to verify phone numbers before calling any back. If you get an email that has a phone number that doesn't match the official phone number, on the website, don't call it. Call the official phone number. Reach out through official channels. And that's you're going to hear me mention that a lot as we go through this presentation a little bit more. But that's our first common scam starting point is emails. Right? All important stuff to be aware of. It's good to practice. Be safe and use those best practices. Right? Try to avoid clicking links and always be suspicious of every unsolicited communication, right? Who's with me? Let me know in the chat. Hit that heart. Give me a reaction. And remember, guys, as we go through this live stream too, share your experiences in the chat. I want to hear it. I like hearing. I don't like hearing, but if somebody got scammed or fell for one, let us know how it went and what went down, or tell us ones you're noticing a lot more being targeted with. And by the way, if you're just joining, make sure to sign up for our free mailing list, scamaware101.com, and click join mailing list. You can also follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. So hit that like button, hit that follow button. We're streaming live right now on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So go follow us, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be streaming for at least a couple more hours, so now's a good time to share this live stream, get some more people in here. The next common scam point we're going to talk about is phone call scams or voice scams. And that's basically when phone and voice scammers use phone calls to trick people into giving away money. So I'm noticing some typos in my slide here that I'm fixing as we go along. So these phone and voice scammers, they trick people into giving away money, sensitive information, or granting remote access to their devices. Right? That's one to keep in mind. Scammers often pose as trusted figures and use urgency and fear to pressure victims into acting quickly. They might threaten legal action, promise financial rewards, or pretend to help with a supposed emergency. Look, scammers will say anything and anything on the phone. They'll impersonate anyone. They'll pretend to be any organization. They'll feed you any narrative that it takes, no matter how ridiculous or absurd you think it might be. If they think you'll fall for it, they'll do it. And they'll do it to you right over the phone. So always be aware of that. These scammers, they automate hundreds of thousands of robocalls each day. Right? It's automated. They're just calling hundreds of thousands of people all day long. So eventually you're going to get calls if you haven't yet. And they use AI to create realistic sounding voices and messages. A lot of these voicemails and calls, even though they're robocalls and pre-recorded, they sound like a real person because they're using AI to do realistic voices now. You used to be able to kind of be like, I kind of detect an accent, and maybe this is someone from another country, and maybe it's a scam. But now, because of AI, the voices, it sounds like your next door neighbor. And very important to remember and to keep in mind, these scammers can manipulate the caller ID. It's called spoofing, caller ID spoofing. And what they do is they hide their phone number, and they show a different phone number. So the phone number they'll show, it might be the bank's or the police department, but they'll show whoever they're impersonating. If they're impersonating the bank, you'll see the bank's phone number pop up. But it's really a scammer. So that's really important to be aware of. Just because the caller ID shows a phone number, that doesn't mean you could trust who it says it is. And scammers know this. They're taking advantage of it. So very important to be aware of that. Phone call scams will often impersonate law enforcement, like local police or the sheriff's office. And again, they'll show the phone number for that on a caller ID. They impersonate financial institutions, banks, credit cards, utility providers, electric, water, heat, right? They'll impersonate government agencies, the IRS, Social Security, and they'll even impersonate friends and family members. They really do, and they're very convincing, right? When they call you up and they'll actually impersonate your daughter or your granddaughter, and you won't know the difference. And I'm going to show you an example of that later. It sounds crazy, but stay tuned. I'll prove it to you in a little bit how that works. Most phone call scams don't come from lone scammers. They're run out of illegal call centers and located overseas. The scammers typically follow scripts but will improvise when a victim asks questions. They often spoof or manipulate the name and number shown on caller ID. Make sure your friends know that, because people don't realize that. You hear these victim stories, and a lot of times it starts with, I got a call, the caller ID showed my bank's name, and I thought I could trust it. That's a big point that we need to make people aware of, that they can't trust what the caller ID shows. Some common phone call scams: arrest warrant scams and missed jury duty scams. Right, that's when scammers impersonate law enforcement, claiming an arrest warrant will be issued if fines aren't paid immediately. And we're seeing lots of warnings about that one. Right, the scammers are calling up and they'll impersonate law enforcement. They don't care. They'll call you up. They'll say they're with the local sheriff's department. They impersonate your bank, credit card companies. They'll call you up. They'll tell you there's a problem with your bank account. Your caller ID will show the bank's phone number. You'll think you're talking to the bank, but it's a scammer. Fake order notification scams, right? We mentioned this scam earlier when we were talking about email scams. It works the same way with phone call scams. You'll get someone will call you up, or it'll be recording. You'll answer the phone, and it'll say that an order was placed. It'll say, call this number to dispute it. But if you call that number, or it'll say press 1. But if you do either, you'll be connected with a scammer. So important to be aware of that. You can't trust these unsolicited communications. And grandparent scams. Right? These scammers, they call your mother, they call your grandmother, and they tell them you're in jail. They impersonate you, they impersonate the police. And we're going to share an example of that a little later in the live stream. But all examples of common phone call scams that are active, circulating, current, let's just name a few. Just a few. There's so many. So you need to keep your guard up, especially when it comes to any unsolicited phone calls. So let's talk about what not to do, right? Dangerous actions to avoid. That's one of our key concepts, what not to do. Knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers. Put it in the chat. Type it in the chat with me. Nah, that's a lot to type. But anyway, so here's what not to do when it comes to phone calls. Right? Answering phone calls from unknown callers or unrecognized numbers. Right? Scammers often use random or spoofed phone numbers to trick you into picking up. If you don't recognize the caller, let it go to voicemail. It's important to leave a message. Right? There's no reason to pick up a phone call from someone that's not in one of your contacts. Calling back phone numbers of unsolicited callers. Returning a missed call from an unknown number could connect you to a scammer. Always verify the number before calling back. And what I mean by that, if someone calls you, leaves you a message, says, I'm calling from the bank, call me back on this number, don't call that number. If you're going to call back, go look up your bank's actual number and call your bank's number. But don't trust, don't call back phone numbers that were left by unsolicited callers. Trusting a name and number displayed on caller ID, right? You can't do that. Caller ID can be faked to look like it's from a bank or government. Trust a business. Don't rely on the display to judge if the call is real. And providing personal or financial details to the caller. Never give personal or financial info to an unexpected caller. Legit callers will not pressure you for sensitive details over the phone. All right. And look, a lot of these places, they're aware of scams now. So they're okay with you hanging up and verifying. In fact, again, you have to assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer. It's a key concept. Always remember that. So how do you stay safe from phone scams? Let's talk about some best practices. And they kind of go hand in hand with the dangerous actions to avoid that we just talked about. Answer phone calls only from known contacts. Right? Let unknown numbers go to voicemail. If it's important, the caller will leave a message. This helps you avoid real-time pressure from scammers. Right? By not answering an unknown number, you're just avoiding being pressured by a scammer. Right? So don't answer a number that's not in your contacts. If you do end up on a phone with an unsolicited caller, or if it's someone that's claiming to be your bank, for example, so you answered, you thought it was your bank, so you answered, hang up and confirm the situation through official channels. I can't say that enough. You have to hang up and confirm through official channels. You can't trust a caller at face value anymore, right? You can't just trust an unsolicited call like that. You have to hang up and verify and confirm through official channels. Because these scammers, they know things about you. They might even already know what bank you use, so that's why they're able to claim, know what bank to impersonate. So you always have to hang up and confirm through official channels, especially when someone's claiming to be from the bank or government. And verify official phone numbers to call back. Right? You can't trust that contact information, whether they leave it in a voicemail or they tell you to call them back, or it's a recording. You can't trust those phone numbers included in unsolicited contacts. You always confirm the real numbers by going through official channels. So that's phone call scams. It's a big problem. We're going to share a lot of examples this evening with you. But that's a big problem with phone call scams. So there you have it. We talked about email scams. We talked about phone call scams. We still have more coming up here. Let me know if you're watching. Share your stories in the chat. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like if you haven't yet. And make sure to like, subscribe, follow. We're trying to put something good out here. So by hitting that thumbs up and giving us a like, it helps spread awareness about these scams. Make sure to join our free mailing list too. Scamaware101.com. Next common scam starting point we're going to talk about is text message scams. And this might even be more common for some of you than phone call scams, getting text message scams. So text message scams are a common starting point for modern day scams. The messages use deceptive text to trick recipients into clicking malicious links, sharing personal information, or sending money. Some text messages might have a picture, QR code, or other file attached. The scammers usually pose as trusted person or company. It's true. And you know what? The same scams that we're talking about for phone calls and email scams, most of them can be applied to text messages too. It's important to be aware of that as we talk about these scams. You need to have your alert on for all these different communication methods. Did you know scammers manipulate caller ID? I hope you do, because I've said it 100 times so far, and I'm going to keep saying it. They manipulate caller ID to show a different name and number. They'll make it match the bank or law enforcement. They'll send out millions of scam text messages every day. I'm not exaggerating. We're talking millions of scam text messages going out every day to innocent, unexpected victims. They include links to harmful websites in the text messages. And they're using AI to create more realistic and convincing messages to send out. Because again, you used to be able to rely on spelling mistakes and grammar and maybe strange punctuation or capitalization. But now, because of AI, it's much more believable. They don't have those glaring mistakes as often anymore. So, all important to be aware of. Some text message scams often impersonate financial institutions like your bank or credit card companies, the Department of Motor Vehicles, Department of Transportation, or we'll be talking about those scams later on, delivery services like USPS, FedEx, UPS, and government agencies like the IRS, Social Security, and of course, job recruiters and employment firms, right? We all get those text messages claiming there's a great job offer, make $1,000 a day, it's work an hour. Text message scams are designed to grab attention quickly, often warning about a problem with an account, offering a fake prize, or claiming a package can't be delivered. Right? Let me know in the chat if you've gotten those undeliverable package scam text messages. Text message scammers often disguise or spoof the phone number shown on caller ID to appear as somebody else, right? Just like the phone calls. And common text message scams include suspicious bank and credit card activity scams. And again, this one's across the board, right? These scammers, they'll when they're impersonating your bank and your credit card company, they'll reach out to you in multiple ways, including text messages, emails, phone calls. So this scam just applies across the board, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more later on too. Another common text message scam, unpaid road tolls or traffic ticket scams. This one's happening a lot. So many text messages claiming that you owe a traffic ticket or unpaid road toll. So we're going to talk about those later on as well. Undeliverable package scams. Right? You get a text message that says, we couldn't deliver a package. Click here. But it's a scam. You click it, they're going to steal any information you provide, infect you with malware. And then you have the employment scams and the fake job offers. The text messages offer fake jobs to trick victims into purchasing equipment or depositing money first. If they're telling you to deposit money or to purchase equipment, it's a scam. You shouldn't have to pay to work. So don't trust those job offers coming through text message. All right, people, it's a little too quiet out there. Let me get some reactions. Let me get some action here in the chat room. Say hi. Let me know you're watching. Show some support. Show some appreciation. Trying to put something good out there. Let me know that you appreciate it, and gives me some motivation to keep on going. We still got plenty more coming up to on this live stream. Dangerous actions to avoid, right? Because what not to know, what not to do is how you avoid traps. Knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps, right? So replying to text messages from unknown senders. You never want to reply to text messages from unknown senders. Even if it seems like a wrong number, don't reply. It's not worth it. What happens is if you reply, the scammers just target you more now. They know it's an active phone number, and they send more text scams to you. So don't reply to text messages from unknown senders. It's best to ignore them. Report them if you could tell that they're an obvious scam. But even wrong numbers, don't bother replying. Clicking text message links or opening attachments. Look, clicking on links, opening attachments, they could install malware on your device. They could take you to fake websites. You never want to click links. You never want to open attachments from that you weren't expecting or from unknown sources. Trusting a name and number displayed on caller ID. You can't do it. You know, we know that scammers, they can spoof what the caller ID shows, so you can't trust that. Never trust what the caller ID shows. Always verify through official sources. And then, of course, calling back phone numbers of unsolicited senders, I should say. Fraudulent texts often include phone numbers that connect directly to scammers. Always verify the number through official website. Right? You don't want to go calling back phone numbers that came through unsolicited text message. And some best practices to keep in mind. Again, always assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer. You want to access websites directly instead of clicking links. Right? I mentioned that earlier when we were talking about email scams. Same goes for text message scams. If you get a link sent to you, instead of clicking the link or trusting it, just go to the website directly. Right? If it's a notification claiming to be from your bank, just go to your bank's website directly. Don't trust the link. Confirm situations through official channels. Right? You get these text messages impersonating the bank or law enforcement. Don't reply. Don't trust the contact information. Verify through official channels. Right? Call your bank directly. Verify phone numbers before calling back. You know, that goes hand in hand with confirming through official channels. Right? You don't want to trust that contact information that's included in that text message, whether it's a phone number or a link. You don't want to trust it. You know, whoever they're impersonating, go to official source and only communicate through official channels. If you even think that's legit. So that's a bunch of things to keep in mind about text message scams. You know, it's a very common way that scams start. And that's the third way out of the 6 that we're talking about this evening. We've got 3 more to go. Let me know you're watching. Say hi in the chat. Give us a like if you haven't yet. Give us a thumbs up. Give us some reactions by clicking, if you're watching on YouTube, click that heart. On Instagram, too. We're streaming live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Spreading awareness about scams. Protect yourself and loved ones from these scammers. In fact, if you're just joining us now, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Our mission here is to spread awareness about common scams. And one of the ways we do that is through this weekly live stream, where we share all examples of common scams and warn you about common scams and help you protect yourself from becoming a victim. So let us know you're watching. Say hi in the chat. You can join our free mailing list, scamware101.com. All good stuff coming up. So hit that like button, give us a share. We're going to continue here with the presentation. And the next common way that scam starts are internet and website scams. Right? The internet is full of scammers trying to steal your money. They create fake websites that trick visitors into making payments, providing personal details, or downloading malicious software. Scammers use fake profiles on social media. They impersonate celebrities, and they scour online dating websites for new, unsuspecting victims. It's true. It's the Wild West on the internet. Did you know that scammers design fake websites to steal personal and financial info? They use fake virus alerts and pop-ups offering technical support, but it actually tricks victims into calling a fake support number. They buy search results on Google, promoting their fake scam websites, and they purchase ads on social media to reach new victims. So just because you see an ad on social media doesn't mean you can trust it, or you see a sponsored result on Google, you can't trust it. Online scammers often impersonate popular brands and online retailers, famous celebrities and online influencers, tech support and customer support services, antivirus and software companies like Microsoft and Apple, and they also impersonate users on dating websites using stolen pictures and identities, of course. So watch out if you're on those dating websites. Lots of romance scammers out there looking to take advantage of your emotions and your bank account. Some online scammers sell non-existent items on eBay or Facebook. Other scammers create websites that list fake products or sell. Ooh, typo. Fake products for sale. Let me fix this. Other scammers create websites that list fake products for sale to steal your payment details. Many scammers create fake profiles on social media and online dating websites. There are even fake virus alerts that trick victims into calling a scammer hotline for help. A lot of people don't realize that. They might, they have their guard up for incoming calls, but it doesn't cross their mind that scammers might be trying to trick them into calling the scammer, right? So it doesn't cross their mind like, oh, I'm calling back this number to a tech support company that I've never used before, right? And they have their guard down because they're making the outgoing call. So anyway, that's a tech support scam. We're going to talk about that one a little bit later, and that's important to be aware of. Some common internet scams include fake product offers that link to fake retail websites. That's when bogus offers pop up. You get those pop-ups that say you want a free iPhone or a special offer, just pay for shipping, right? But they're fake product offers. If you click the link or the pop-up, it'll take you to a fake website that steals your details. Fake customer support and tech support scams. That's when scammers impersonate support to gain access to victims' device and accounts, including their bank accounts. We'll talk more about those scams a little later too. Important to be aware of tech support scams, especially to older folks out there that might not be so computer savvy, right? Be aware of that. I'm not picking on you. It's just that type of scam is the one that a lot of the older folks fall for, the tech support scams. So be aware of these fake pop-ups and stay tuned to this live stream because we're going to show you actually some examples of that in a little bit. Romance scams is fake profiles on dating websites. Scammers find victims on dating websites by creating fake dating profiles using someone else's pictures and identity. All right, I've heard horror stories about these dating websites. Be careful, people. Fake prize winner giveaway and sweepstakes scams. That's when scammers trick victims in revealing financial details or paying fees and taxes on a fake prize that doesn't exist. All right, that's another example of how it might say you won, free prize or free giveaway. We see this on social media a lot. Sometimes there'll be a fake profile impersonating a celebrity or a fan site, and it'll be like, you won. But it's really just a trick. You didn't win anything. It's a scam. Knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers. So in the case of these internet and website scams, it's important to know what not to do when you're browsing the internet. Right, so here's a few things. Clicking too good to be true product offers, right? If you see a too good to be true offer, it probably is. You need to be suspicious of discounts and free products, offers that seem too good to be true. If you click on them, you could be taking a fake website, steals all your personal details, and clears out your bank account, right? Sending money to strangers you never met is popular on romance scams and dating websites. Fraudsters often invent stories online to convince people to send money. Never send money to strangers online. Calling unfamiliar phone numbers for support. All right, fake support phone numbers, they'll often connect you directly to scammers, and they'll try to get on your device. Always confirm phone numbers of official companies. Trusting ads on social media or results in Google. Right, the scammers buy ads, they buy search results just like anybody else. So just because it appears to be legitimate doesn't mean that it is. Be suspicious of website results and ads on social media. So some best practices to stay safe from internet scams. As always, assume that every unsolicited communication is a scammer. Right? Double check website addresses. Scammers often create fake websites that look nearly identical to real ones. Always look for slight misspellings, extra characters, or unusual domain endings. An old trick that scammers used to use is they would purchase a .co domain instead of .com. They would purchase .co, and they would put the real website, like they purchased Microsoft.co. So when people misspelt Microsoft.com, they left off the last M, they would get redirected to the fake website. So scammers are always using little tricks like that. So always double check the website addresses. Always be cautious of online offers, right? Unrealistic deals, prizes, or opportunities are commonly scam tactics. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. Take extra time to verify before acting. And again, always verify phone numbers or other contact information before calling. Just like with emails and texts, fake websites sometimes list scam phone numbers. Cross-check them with official sources before calling. Even when you're looking up official phone numbers, scammers create fake websites. So make sure you're actually on a real website too. If you're trying to reach your bank, look at the phone number on the back of your card. And that's the number you call. That might help. So those are just examples of some common website scams. And we barely touched the surface. So always keep your guard up. It's the Wild West out there on the internet. So always be alert for scams. That's why we do this live stream. That's why you need to follow, subscribe, Scamaware 101. We're going to keep you alert. You join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com. All right. It's a little quiet tonight, people. We got John and Dave over there on YouTube, so I appreciate that. You guys are always there. Always appreciate you guys. So we get some more people in here. If you're just lurking, say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Or share your experiences with us. Let me know why you're watching. Maybe you got scammed, or you know somebody that got scammed. Maybe you have your loved one that keeps on getting scammed, or you're worried about that's going to get scammed. Share your story. Now, the next type of scam we're going to talk about, next starting point, snail mail scams, right? Because they still happen, right? They haven't gone nowhere, these snail mail scammers. What do you think they did before the internet? For all you young folks out there, showing my age. They're still using the traditional postal service to send scams out. So mail scams use letters delivered through the postal service to trick people into sending money, sharing personal details, or responding to bogus offers and fake prizes. What makes mail scams effective is their ability to appear credible and personal by reaching people directly at their home address, giving the illusion of legitimacy. Right? So people think they could trust it more because it arrives right at their home. So, did you know that scammers, they use AI to compose convincing letters to send to victims? And it's a safe assumption that scammers using AI for making all their scams better. They use fake letterhead and impersonate real organizations. Sometimes they'll even include fake checks in the envelope with some of their scam letters. Sometimes they'll include QR codes for the victim to scan too. All coming through your mail, whether it's a postcard or a letter. Mail scams often impersonate legal services, law offices, popular brands and retail outlets, utility companies, electricity, water, heat, sweepstakes, contests like Publishers Clearinghouse, government agencies, the IRS and Social Security. Always remain cautious of letters or postcards received from unknown senders. They may be scams attempting to collect your personal information. Mail scams often appear as official-looking notices, special offers, or past due bills. Some scammers include fake checks that eventually bounce after a victim deposits them. Some common snail mail scams include inheritance scams. That's when victims are tricked into paying scammers fees and taxes on a fake inheritance that does not exist. And of course, they receive a letter in the mail that impersonates a law office. And I'm going to show you an example of that letter a little later as we discuss these snail mail scams more. Fake prize winner and giveaway scams. Scammers trick victims into revealing financial details or paying fees and taxes on a fake prize that doesn't exist. So you always have to be suspicious of these postcards or letters that say, you won. It's a free prize. Mystery shopper check scams. You get a letter in the mail and it has a check. It says you've been selected to be a secret shopper. We have an example of that to share with you too later on. But the check bounces after the victim already gave gift cards to the scammer. And there's the fake postcard offers with free gift. Sometimes they come with a QR code to scan. They're bogus offers. They direct victims to a fake retail website designed to steal any payment information entered. You might say, what payment information if it's a free gift? Well, a lot of times they'll say it's a free gift, just pay for shipping. All right, that's a common trick they use. And we'll share some more examples of that later in the live stream. Knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers. All right. So, dangerous actions to avoid when it comes to snail mail scams. Trusting too good to be true offers received in the mail. Fraudulent mail often promises prizes, free money, or unrealistic rewards. If an offer sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And see how a lot of these dangerous actions to avoid, the idea and the concept behind them, they can be applied across the board, right? And they should really be these safe practices that you adopt. Scanning QR codes, visiting websites received in the mail. All right, never trust random QR codes or website links you receive in the mail. You have to be suspicious of those just like any other way you will receive them. Depositing unsolicited checks received in the mail. Scammers send fake checks that appear real but later bounce. Never deposit checks you weren't expecting or can't verify. And look, scammers, they tell you to deposit a check. The whole thing is you don't realize it bounced until like 2 days later. And scammers are counting on that because they say, oh, you deposited it, it was good. Then they trick you into buying gift cards. Paying invoices received in the mail without verifying. Criminals may send fake bills hoping you'll pay without checking. Always verify invoices before sending payment. So some best practices: stay safe from mail scams. Remain suspicious of urgent requests. Right? Letters that demand immediate payment or threaten consequences are classic scam pressure tactics. Take your time and verify before acting. Watch out for too good to be true offers. Sweepstakes winnings, inheritances, or investment promises sent by the mail are usually scams. If you didn't enter, you didn't win. All right? And then confirm official contact info before responding. If the mail claims to be from a government agency, bank, or company, contact the organization directly using a verified phone number on their website, not the contact info in a letter. Right? 'Cause just like every other form of communication, you need to assume that it's a scam. You can't trust the contact information. You have to go verify. You with me, people? Let me know. And we have some examples of those snail mail scams we're going to share later in the live stream too. So, lots of good stuff coming up. I see we got somebody in the Instagram stream. Good to see you, mother of one. Hopefully you're still there. Thank you for joining. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. See a couple people on Facebook too. So say hi in the comments. I see you lurking. Let me know you're watching. And lots of good stuff still coming up. So hit that thumbs up, give us a like. We're spreading awareness about common scams. Help you protect yourself and your loved ones from scammers. Let's talk about our last common way that scams start. Number 6 here. QR code scams. Right? Malicious QR codes can lead to fake websites designed to steal account logins, payment details, or other sensitive information. They are unreadable to the human eye and must be scanned to see where it leads. One of the riskiest actions you could take is scanning a QR code from an unverified source. Did you know that scammers use QR codes to direct victims to harmful websites? They send postcards and letters containing harmful QR codes. They'll attach malicious QR codes to emails and text messages. In public, they'll cover legit QR codes with malicious QR codes. They do. QR code scams often impersonate popular brands, and retail outlets. Parking authorities, traffic enforcement, online marketplaces, e-commerce websites, sweepstakes, publishers clearinghouse, right? Popular mobile apps and trading platforms. These are all common impersonations where it'll be like, scan this QR code, and it could direct you to these things. QR code scams have become more common since they make it easy for criminals to disguise malicious links behind what looks like a harmless black and white square. Scammers attach QR codes to emails, text messages, letters, and postcards. In public, some scammers cover legitimate QR codes with stickers of malicious ones. These QR code scams, you're going to be seeing more of them. They're going to be more common. They've kind of brought new life into the traditional snail mail scam and flyer scams and actual physical scams, right? By by using QR codes, now scammers have a way to direct people to their fake websites a lot easier. So we're starting to see a resurgence of classic snail mail scams and postcard scams and flyers that are scams because these QR codes now are able to get users scanning and falling for the scam. So be suspicious of QR codes. Definitely don't scan ones in public. Some common QR code scams include fake product offers that direct to fake retail websites. Right? This kind of crosses over with some of the scams we've been talking about. Regardless of where you see the QR code, you have to be suspicious because it could direct you to a fake website. Brushing scams. Packages arrive with no from or return details, only a QR code to scan. But if you scan the QR code, it can install malware on your device. Fake parking ticket, fake traffic ticket scams. We're hearing about these more often. Victims find a parking or traffic ticket on their vehicle, but the QR code opens a fake website that steals payment information. And then fake prize winner giveaway, sweepstakes scams. When scammers trick victims into revealing financial details or paying fees and taxes, a fake prize that doesn't exist. There you get that postcard in the mail or that pop-up that says, you win, scan this QR code, but it's a scam. Don't trust it. Knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers. So when it comes to QR code scams, here's some dangerous actions to avoid. Right? Scanning unknown QR codes they found in public. Look, we know that scammers place malicious QR code stickers on posters, ads, and public signs to direct you to dangerous websites. Don't scan QR codes in public if you could avoid it. Scanning QR codes received in the mail. We know that criminals send physical letters with QR codes that lead to fake websites or malware. Be skeptical of QR codes in unsolicited mail. Scanning QR codes attached to an email or text messages. Scammers often embed QR codes in emails and texts to bypass the spam filters and trick you into opening their malicious sites. So don't trust QR codes that are attached to emails, text messages, from unsolicited contacts. Entering personal information after scanning a QR code. Never enter sensitive information after scanning a QR code unless you verify the website's legitimacy. All right. Some best practices to stay safe from these QR code scams. Access websites directly instead of scanning QR codes. Right, if you could avoid scanning the QR code, just go directly to the website. Type it in your browser and skip over scanning it altogether. Like the donate QR code that we have on the screen right now. So if you want to donate to Scamaware 101, you can scan the QR code, or you can skip right over it and go directly to scamaware101.com/donate. You can see the URL. It's included. Right under the barcode there, I have the URL. So you don't have to scan the QR code. You can just go directly to the website. That's really the best practice. If you see where it's supposed to go, you trust where it's supposed to go, then just type in and go to the website directly instead of even scanning the QR code. Inspect the QR code for tampering, right? Sometimes we know that scammers, they'll place fake QR codes, stickers on top of real ones, right? So check the signs for alteration, or to look like it's a sticker that was put on top of something. Inspect the QR code before scanning it. And then finally, preview the website URL before proceeding. Many phones, they let you preview the link before opening it, right? When you scan a QR code, it gives you a preview first. So at least preview and make sure it looks like it's going where it's supposed to go. All important stuff, all good stuff to be aware of when it comes to QR codes. And more important than ever to be aware of now, too. Who's with me? Let me know if you're seeing those types of scams in your day-to-day life. If you're just joining, say hi in the chats. Let us know you're watching. We're over on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're streaming live across all three. We're going to be going for at least another hour or two. So give us a like, hit that thumbs up, and share. Get some loved ones here on the stream. We're dropping all sorts of knowledge about protecting yourself from scams. We're focusing on scams that target individuals, scams that you and your loved ones could come across. And important to be aware of. And as we wrap up this presentation here, just this first portion of live stream, we still got lots more to go. But as far as the first portion here goes, where we're discussing how scams start, let's talk about some key takeaways. Right? So, knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps, right? We said it over and over again. It's a key concept that we started out with, Knowing what not to do is how you avoid the traps set by scammers. The most powerful scam protection is knowing what not to do. In this module, we discussed over 25 dangerous actions to avoid. Right? By recognizing and avoiding those risky behaviors, you make it harder for scammers to pull you into their trap. Right? So here are some key takeaways regarding the dangerous actions to remember. Right? Trusting the identity of unsolicited communications. Scammers often pretend to be banks, delivery services, or government agencies to gain your trust. Just because a message looks official or shows a familiar name doesn't mean it's real. All right. Trusting contact information and unsolicited contacts. Scammers include fake phone numbers, email addresses, or websites in their messages. Always look up the official contact details instead of using what was provided in the contact, whether it was a voicemail or an email. Just go directly to the official website and confirm. Responding or revealing personal information. Never respond or share sensitive information with a caller or an unsolicited contact, or through a website or a link until legitimacy is verified. You always have to check through official channels. You don't want to share any personal or revealing information. And then clicking links, opening attachments, scanning QR codes. Links, attachments, QR codes can hide viruses or send you to fake websites that steal your information. If you didn't expect it or can't confirm the source, don't click, don't open, or scan. Right? Don't click links, don't open attachments, don't scan QR codes. If they came from an unsolicited source, don't do it. And then some best practices to keep in mind. Right? Always assume that every unsolicited communication is a scammer. You have to treat them the same. You have to assume that it's a scam. If you weren't expecting it, if it's claimed to be someone you don't know or someone you weren't expecting. By adopting best practices and developing safe habits, you could stop a scam before it starts. And really, that was the whole point of this first hour, is to get to recognize how scams start and the different ways that scammers reach out to you, who they impersonate, how they contact their victims. All right. The safest mindset is to treat every unsolicited contact with suspicion until legitimacy is confirmed. In this module, we discussed over 20 best practices you could follow to protect yourself from scams. Right, so we talked about over 25 dangerous actions to avoid. We talked about 20 best practices to follow. Here are some key takeaways regarding best practices to stay safe from scammers. Always confirm situations through official channels. Right, said it so many times, but can't say it enough. It's the number one rule. Always verify unexpected requests or claims by contacting the organization directly through their official website, phone number, or other trusted source. If a situation sounds too good to be true, investigate it more by searching Google or discussing with friends. Right, you always have to confirm situations through official sources. Access websites directly. Avoid links, QR codes. By clicking links, scanning QR codes, you could end up installing malware on your device or being taken to a fake website. By avoiding clicking the links and avoiding scanning QR codes when possible, instead type website addresses into your browser. This way you'll avoid being directed to a fake website. If you type in the website address directly, instead of trusting a link or scanning a QR code, at least you know where you're going. Confirm official contact info before responding. Right? Scammers leave fake phone numbers to trick victims. Always confirm the real phone number of an organization you wish to reach. Never trust contact information provided by a stranger until confirmed through official channels. Right? And really, that's what it all comes down to. If you had to strip this all down to just a single piece of advice, any unsolicited communication, confirm through official channels. Right? That's what this all comes down to. You can't trust anything else. You can't trust anything in communication. And that concludes the first portion of our live stream this evening, which is just the first hour was this presentation here about how scams start, best practices, dangerous actions to avoid, all important things to recognize and know when it comes to scam awareness and prevention. I see John made it all the way through. I see Dave made it all the way through. I appreciate you guys. I see a few viewers on Instagram popping up, a few on Facebook popping up and going. Say hi, guys. Let me know you're watching. Tell me why scam awareness is important to you. I need to refill my coffee mug, so we're going to take our first 5-minute coffee break. It's a good time to do it, too. It looks like the chats are pretty empty right now. And then when we get back from the quick 5-minute break, we got a lot of good stuff coming up. We're going to go over red flags, common scams. Dave, I still haven't worked the theme song in yet. I got to figure a way to work the theme song into the coffee breaks and the intros and stuff. It's coming, though. For those just tuning in, Dave generated a theme song for us that we're going to start using. It's pretty cool. Right, let me refill my Scamware 101 coffee mug here, and then we're going to proceed with some very useful scam awareness tips, red flags to be aware of, and ways to protect yourself and your loved ones from these ruthless, terrible, moralless scammers. Stay tuned. Back in 5. All right. We're going to keep rolling here in a minute. How we all doing out there in the chat? See a couple of viewers over on Instagram and Facebook. Say hi. Let me know you're watching. All right, let's keep going here. For those just joining, welcome to the Scamaware 101 live stream. We do this live stream every week to spread awareness of common scams so you can protect yourself and protect your loved ones from becoming a victim. All the scams we focus on are scams that target individuals, everyday folks, ordinary people. So these are scams that you can run across just during your day-to-day life. It's important to be aware of these scams because these scammers are ruthless. They want to take everything that you have. It's not a matter of just $100 or even $1,000. They want to clear out every bank account you have, every checking account, every retirement fund. They want it all. They don't care how old you are. They don't care if you're unemployed and living on a fixed income. They're going to take everything. And then once they take it, it's very hard to get it back. So scam awareness is key. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And that is our belief over here at Scamware 101. So we try to spread awareness of these scams. We release YouTube videos. We do this live stream. We're streaming live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We're probably going to go for at least another hour, probably like 2 hours, 2 more hours. And yeah, we just spent the first hour going over the ways that scams get started, the common impersonations, common contact methods, and went over 25 different dangerous actions to avoid. So if you missed that, that's okay. We still have a lot more to come up. So it's still a great time to hit that thumbs up button, give us a like, subscribe, follow. Again, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky, X, Threads. We're on them all, except TikTok. You can visit our website, scamaware101.com. You can join our free mailing list. We'll send you some scam awareness tips and updates. We're on scamaware101.com. And also you can find the links to our social media profiles too here on the homepage. Our username is scamaware101 across all of them, but if you can't find us, the links are right here on the homepage. If you want to help out financially, you go to scamaware101.com/donate. We also have super thanks and memberships enabled over on YouTube as well. So want to throw us a couple bucks, we always appreciate it. But we don't expect it. We're just happy with getting a like, a subscribe, a follow. You know, our goal here is to spread awareness. So, and you can help just by clicking like and follow and subscribing, because then the algorithm will show our content to more people. Now, with that said, let's continue with our live stream here. And this next portion of the live stream, we're going to go over red flags, common red flags that you're dealing with a scammer. We have a video. All the slides that we're going to show you regarding these red flags for the next 20 minutes or so, we actually have a video on our YouTube channel. It's the red flag video. And you can share it with a loved one if you think they would find any of these 5 red flags that we're going to go over useful. And they really should. These 5 red flags, you know, when you hear these victims' stories, a lot of times there's these red flags that if they knew about them, it could have prevented, you know, everything. And we tried to include those in these 5 red flags to be aware of, because if you come across these, it's a strong indicator you're dealing with a scammer, and you should really stop and rethink about the situation, reanalyze what's going on. And you know, as we go through these, if you're thinking of a loved one that's maybe in the process of getting scammed, so like I said, you could go find this video on our YouTube channel and share it with them, show it to them. So, but let's talk about 5 red flags that indicate you're talking to a scammer. Red flag number 1, they direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation, right? So these scammers, they don't want to keep on talking to their victims through like text messages, right? They want to get them onto a third-party chat app. It's much easier for them to communicate with their victims in other countries, and it also offers them more anonymity to hide behind, because these third-party chat apps, they'll encrypt the conversation and has some other protections in place. So a lot of times these scammers, once they initiate the contact through a traditional way, whether it's a phone call or a text message or an email, a lot of times they'll ask to continue a conversation using WhatsApp. They'll invite you to join their Telegram group or their WhatsApp group, and it's a red flag that you're possibly dealing with a scammer. Some scams where that's part of the playbook, to invite the victims over to WhatsApp or Telegram. Romance scams. You have these fake dating profiles created on dating websites. Right? They lure in new victims and matches, and then once they start talking on a dating website, they say, hey, let's keep talking on WhatsApp. All right, it's a red flag. Wrong number scams. We're going to talk about these a little later, but that's when a text message probing for victims. You just get a completely random text message, but when the victim replies, they'll be directed to continue talking on WhatsApp. All right, investment scams. They direct the victim to join their Telegram or their WhatsApp group to pump up an investment or appear more legitimate. Right? They'll invite you to these fake groups that have bots in them or other scammers. And they'll make it look like, oh, look at all this interest in this crypto or this investment group. But it's all part of the scam. Right? So be suspicious if anybody invites you to continue talking on WhatsApp and Telegram. Red flag number 2. They request, and this is a big one, they request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, and cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. All red flags. If you hear the word gift cards, it's a red flag. If you hear the word Bitcoin ATM, it's a red flag. If they tell you to deposit cryptocurrency or to go deposit money into Bitcoin ATM, into an ATM at all, it's a red flag. Right? Look, scammers love getting these unusual forms of payment because it's easier for them to move and transfer funds quickly, and it's harder for victims to recover the money after it's sent. If you purchase gift cards and send them to a scammer, you're not getting that money back. And the scammers know that. Once they have the gift cards, they have them. Same with Bitcoin ATMs. If you withdraw cash from your bank account and you deposit it into Bitcoin ATM, you're not going to get that money back. The bank's not going to give you that money back. And once it's deposited into the bank or into the Bitcoin ATM, it's gone. So scammers love getting these forms of payment. Scams are that's part of the playbook. Most of them, but some examples. IRS and Social Security scams. The scammers impersonate government agencies and they ask for payment in gift cards or cryptocurrency. As of right now, that's 100% a scam. The government does not accept gift cards or cryptocurrency as payment. Maybe in the future they'll accept Bitcoin, but right now they don't accept gift cards, they don't accept cryptocurrency. So anybody claiming that you need to pay them, claiming to be a government organization or agency and saying you have to pay with gift cards or cryptocurrency, it's 100% a scam. Don't trust it. Romance scams. Scammers often request gift cards and cryptocurrency from their emotionally attached victim. Right? The victim thinks that they're just sending gift cards to a loved one, but they're actually sending a payment that they're not going to be able to recover, realizing after they realize they've been scammed. Bank impersonation scams. These scammers trick victims into withdrawing cash from the bank and then tell them to purchase gift cards or purchase Bitcoin. Right? Can't trust it. Any mention of gift cards or Bitcoin or using a Bitcoin ATM, it's a scam. Be suspicious. Huge red flag. And if it gets to that point where you're being told to purchase gift cards, it's pretty far along down this might be your last chance to stop that scam. Because you're pretty far down the line now at this point where they get you to, you're ready to withdraw and purchase gift cards. So that's a huge red flag, and it might be your last chance to stop this scam in progress and save the funds. Again, we have a video. All these slides are in that video, our YouTube channel. So if you know anybody that will find this useful, you go share that video with them too. Make sure to subscribe and like the YouTube video. Next red flag, they ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. This is actually a common scam. You see it a lot on marketplace type websites like Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. And what they do is they impersonate a buyer or a seller and they say, hey, we just want to confirm your phone number. We're going to send you a code, right? But that's a scam. What they're doing is they're trying to log into your bank account or trying to create an account associated with your phone. If you give that code back to them, you're letting them do whatever malicious activity they're trying to do associated with your phone number. Right. So again, if a stranger asks you to give them a code that they send to your phone, don't trust it. There's really no reason a stranger should be telling you to provide them a code they send you. And some examples where it's part of the playbook to get you to provide this code, right, is account login attempts. A scammer might be trying to log into one of your accounts. You get that code sent to you as a security precaution. If you give that code to a scammer, you let them into your account, right? So there's no reason to provide that code to anybody. Password reset requests. The scammer might be trying to reset one of your passwords, and you're getting that message, that code, as a security precaution. If you give it to a scammer, you're letting them reset your password. And then there's Google Voice scams, right? So what these scammers do is they're trying to create a Google Voice account attached to your phone number. If you turn around and provide the code to them, you allow it, right? You're getting that code as a security precaution. You give that code back to the scammer, you let them attach your phone number to a Google Voice account, which means that they're going to use that account for fraudulent activities and it's linked to your phone number. So you never want to give a code that's sent to your phone. You never want to provide it to somebody. Right? If you're trying to log into a website, it's one thing. But if you're on the phone with somebody and they're saying, I'm going to send you a code, be suspicious. Don't provide it back. So that's red flag number 3, that you're dealing with a scammer. Let me know if you've encountered these, or I'd love to hear some stories where you almost got to the point of getting scammed. You knew someone who was getting to the point of getting scammed, but boom, they came across one of these red flags and got lucky. Now, I'd like to hear a success story like that. Every now and then you hear a win like that, but most of the time it's sadder stories where they don't realize till after the fact, which is why these red flags are so important to be aware of. Right? You need to recognize these when they're happening, because realizing it after the fact is too late. Your money's gone. And as discussed earlier, you're not going to get it back. It's very rarely you get money back that these scammers get from you. So that's red flag number 3. Gift cards, they send a code to your phone. Red flag number 4 out of 5. They ask to connect your PC to assist or investigate an issue. Your PC or your device, right? So scammers love to connect to your device. And it's become more and more common over the years now, because if they get access to your device, it's like a gold mine to them. They can steal your logins and passwords that you have stored on the PC. They can steal or encrypt your personal files, your documents, your pictures. They can attempt to access your banking websites through your PC and other financial information. So scammers just started asking to get access to your device. And they'll have all these fancy stories. They'll pretend to be your bank and offering to help, or they'll pretend that they're tech support and they're going to help you with a computer virus. They make up these elaborate stories to get access to your device. So it's always a red flag when you're dealing with a stranger and they're trying to connect your device or offering to connect your device. If they're offering support or help, be suspicious. You should only let certain people that you already know and trust assist with your computer issues. Don't let strangers access your device. That's my advice to you. But some examples of scams where it's part of playbook for these scammers to request access to your device. Fake virus alert or tech support scams. Right? They impersonate tech support assisting you with a virus to gain access to your PC. And once they're on your PC, you don't know what they did. You don't know what they installed. They can install software. They can access it later when you're not on it. You don't know what they're going to do once they're on your PC. Fake order scams. They'll impersonate customer service supporting you with a fake order. Right? You got that notification of an order. And they say, hey, let me connect your device and see what you say. Right? But it's a trick. They're trying to connect your device. Fake fraudulent activity. They'll impersonate an agency investigating fraud. And they'll say, hey, let me connect your device. And what they'll do is they'll say, hey, open up each of your bank accounts and we'll check it with you to see if there's any suspicious activity. But as you log into each of your bank accounts, you're revealing all this information to the scammer. They know exactly how much money you have and how much they could try to take. It's wild. So never give a stranger access to your device. Whether it's a computer or a phone. Obviously, they prefer phone. Like Dave says in the chat, obviously they prefer computer. Dave mentions that in the chat, saying they prefer to connect to your computer, but could also connect to your phone. Really, any one is probably just as damaging. I know a bunch of people don't even use a computer; they just do everything on their phone. They pay bills, do their banking, so. Scammer gets on their phone, he's got access to everything they want, everything they could want. So anyway, we're going to talk about this type of scam more when we talk about tech support scams. But when it comes to letting somebody access your device, everybody should have that one person in mind, whether that's like your computer person, right? Like most of you, when your car breaks, you probably have a mechanic in mind, right? It's the same thing with anything having to do with your computer. So if you did get a pop-up or somebody was telling you there's a problem with your computer and they want to connect to help you, you should be able to say, no, I got my own computer guy. Tell me what to tell them, or I'm going to call them. But don't engage with a stranger. Definitely don't let them onto your device. So that's red flag number 4, that you're dealing with a scammer, and it's important to keep in mind. Let's talk about red flag number 5. They request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. Right, so it's common for scammers to ask for confidentiality. They don't want you to discuss the situation with other people, because the more people you talk to, the more likely you'll be told it's a scam. All right, so they're going to think of all these stories and try to get you to keep the situation secret and confidential. But that's just all part of the scam. And some examples where that's part of the playbook: grandparent scams. That's when they claim a relative has been arrested, but they tell you that they're embarrassed and not to tell anybody, right? But that's the red flag. That's the request for secrecy. They just don't want you to tell anybody until they get your money. Investment scams. They'll say it's an inside tip and not to tell anyone, or a price is just for you and not to share it, right? But they just don't want you to tell anybody. Inheritance scams. They'll mail letters impersonating law offices regarding a fake inheritance, and of course, letters is going to request confidentiality. Right? Think about that. Who are they to tell you to keep it confidential? You're getting an inheritance. You can tell whoever you want, right? But they're going to request confidentiality. And then fake fraudulent activity. This is a clever one. This is, they're calling you up. They're impersonating an agency investigating fraud or something strange on your account. And what they'll do is they'll say, listen, we're doing an investigation, but it could be anybody. So don't tell anybody about this investigation. Otherwise, you could impede and harm the investigation, right? So they'll say, don't even tell the bank teller what's going on. But it's all part of scams. They're just trying to keep you quiet. And they always have these clever little stories and ways to ask you for confidentiality or secrecy. And that's a big red flag. And that's red flag number 5. That you're dealing with a scammer. And they keep it in mind. They request secrecy or confidentiality. Makes sense? Who's with me? Let me know in the chat if you're with me, if you ever come across those red flags. And give us a like if you haven't yet. Hit that thumbs up, help spread awareness. Let me know you're watching. If you're just joining, let's go over those 5 red flags real quick. The final list. So red flag number 1 was they direct you to a third-party chat app, like Telegram or WhatsApp, to continue a conversation. Right, always a red flag when you deal with a stranger and they tell you to use WhatsApp. Red flag number 2, they request unusual forms of payment, like gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Right, all those should be red flags, especially gift cards and Bitcoin ATMs. All red flags. Scammers like getting paid that way because they know it's very hard to get those funds back once they have them. Red flag number 3, they ask you to provide a code that was sent to their phone, sent to your phone by them. Don't trust it. There's usually something shady going on. There's no reason you should be giving a code sent to your phone to an individual. Red flag number 4, they request access to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. Be suspicious. Don't just let anybody onto your device. Once the scammer's on there, you have no idea what they did. And red flag number 5, they request you to keep the matter confidential or secret. They'll have some elaborate story, and it might even be pretty convincing, but the truth is they just don't want you to talk to anybody. The more people you talk to, the more likely you are to find out it's a scam. So that's red flag number 5. Don't fall for it. And all those slides, all the red flags that we just talked about for the last 20 minutes or so, we have the video that uses the same slides and talks about the same things. So if you know anybody that could benefit from knowing and being aware of those 5 red flags, you could go share that video over from our YouTube channel. And make sure to subscribe and give it a like. How are we all doing this evening? If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101, and we do this live stream every week to spread awareness of common scams, so you can protect yourself and protect your loved ones from becoming a victim. All scams we talk about are scams that target individuals, ordinary folks like you and me. They can come across in your day-to-day life and are important to be aware of. These scams try to take everything you have. Again, so all important to be aware of. That's why we do this. So hit that like button, go to follow, say hi in the chat, let us know you're watching. We want to hear from you. So far this evening, we kicked off the live stream with discussing how scams start, common starting methods, and things to be aware of, so you can spot these scams before engaging or even before they can begin. Right, all important to know. Hi Nigella, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Always good to see you. And then we talked about some red flags, 5 common red flags to be aware of. And if you come across those red flags, you should stop and reanalyze the situation because it's probably a scammer. And now we're going to dive into some common scams where we actually share examples of these scams to help you better spot them. And we have lots of good examples coming up right here. We got phone calls to play for you. We got text messages to show you. We have emails to show you. We have a scammer's webcam who got recorded to show you. So lots of good stuff coming up right now. So still a great time to like and share this live stream. See if we get some more people in here. But lots of good stuff still coming up for at least the next hour or so, including lots of scam examples that we're going to dive into right now. So make sure to give us a like, say hello in the chat. Let us know you're watching. And the first scam that we're going to get into and share examples of with you this evening is a grandparent scam. If you know what a grandparent scam is, let me know in the chat. If you know someone that's been targeted by a grandparent scam, I'd love to hear your story as well. So let me know. But basically, these grandparent scams, scammers impersonate a distressed relative claiming to have been arrested and needing financial help. Victims, usually seniors, act quickly to assist their loved ones. The scammers will often impersonate law enforcement, court personnel, and lawyers to extract even more money from the victim. Now look, the reason why they call it a grandparent scam is because this is the type of scam that targets your parents and your grandparents, and they use the child as bait. So if you're a child, you should be aware of this, and it should anger you that a scammer is using you as bait to take advantage of your parents and your grandparents. If you're the grandparents or the grandparent, then you should be aware that scammers are going to take advantage of your children to try and trick you as well. So if you get a call that's claiming to be from your child and that they're in jail and need assistance and need help, be suspicious of it because it's a common scam known as a grandparent scam. And also, regarding these grandparent scams, these scammers are ruthless. They want to take everything you have, meaning that first they'll impersonate law enforcement and they'll say you got to pass. Then they'll impersonate court personnel and say you got to pass. Then they impersonate lawyers and say you have to pass. They just keep going until there's no more money to take. They want to clear out your grandparents. They want to clear out your parents. They want to take out all the money they have, anything they have saved up, any inheritance they might have stashed away for you. These scammers want to take. So this scam should aggravate everybody, and it should infuriate everybody. And it's important to be aware of these grandparent scams. And what I have here to share with you is a recording. So one of these scam baiters on YouTube, you know, these guys that waste the scammers' time and sometimes they hack them. The scam baiter goes by the name Scam Sandwich. You can find him out and find a full video on YouTube. But here's a small clip from one of his videos. He was able to hack into this scammer's webcam, and this is a grandparent scammer. So what we're going to watch right now is a quick video of a grandparent scammer actually doing his thing, meaning he calls up the grandparent, he impersonates the loved one, he impersonates the police officer. So if you've ever wondered how a loved one could fall for this, or if you've ever said to yourself, I would never fall for this, I would never fall for someone claiming to be I would know if it was my daughter or granddaughter. Well, here's a video clip showing how they convince people and why maybe, you know, you'll understand why so many people fall for it. Because, you know, the first 20 seconds he impersonates a child, right? And it's real quick. They're in distress. It could fool anybody. So anyway, let's take a look at this video here. It's a short video. And let me know in the chats what you think. And if you've had any stories involving these grandparent scams. So by the way, this is a scammer in the Dominican Republic who was doing this scam in this case. And this is the recording of him. So here we go.
Oh. Mom, I had a car accident.
Huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Where are you?
I got a car accident.
What happened?
I'm gonna put the officer on. I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, are you Linda's mom?
Yes.
What I'm gonna need you to do is grab a pen and paper and write down Linda's case number, ma'am. I need you to hurry up, please, ma'am.
Case number?
It's the number 2.
2?
The letter B as in boy. Can you read that back to me?
2B.
Now, I'm gonna read what's going on, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Linda was involved in a car accident. It was stated in the police report. She admitted that was her fault. While she was driving, she was using her phone. That's what caused the accident, ma'am, okay?
Oh, man.
The woman that was driving the other vehicle was 7 months pregnant. We had to rush her into the nearby hospital. She might lose her baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, we actually confiscated her cell phone for legal evidence, so she cannot receive or cannot make calls. This is going to be her only last call. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Now, she actually wrote a note down here saying that she didn't want anyone to know about this. Let's honor her wish for right now because it's too much for her right now. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
What I'm going to need you to do, ma'am, is stay by the phone and wait for the lawyer to call, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
All right, bye.
The next
So that's an example of a grandparent scammer. This one was operating out of Dominican Republic. And you can see how he impersonates the loved one in distress for about 20 seconds. And they're crying, and it's all, you can't hear very well. And really, anybody could kind of be fooled by a quick 20-second clip like that. It could have been anybody's daughter, And 20 seconds in, he switches over real quick to impersonating a police officer. He's got police chatter in the background, like he's playing recordings of the police scanners in the background to sound more legitimate. And he asks, he says, oh, she's embarrassed and asks you not to tell anybody. So there's a request for secrecy, right? That red flag that we talked about, right? And he also says, I confiscated her phone, so don't try calling her, right? Because, if the victim tries calling, she might actually answer because none of this is true. So it's an interesting scam, but a lot of older folks fall for it because they think that their loved ones are in trouble and need help immediately. And unfortunately, scammers take advantage of that. So in a lot of cases, this scam was coming out of Dominican Republic. And I have some details about this scam in this news article here. This is actually from last year. And it's a New Jersey federal court charges 3 additional Dominicans in grandparent scam. So according to the indictment, the conspirators engaged in a long-running grandparent or family in need of bail scam against hundreds of seniors across the United States, including in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. As detailed in court filings, member of the conspiracy referred to as openers, and that's what we just watched was an opener, called elderly victims in the United States and impersonated the victim's children, grandchildren, or other close relatives. Typically, the victim was told that their grandchild had been in a car accident, was arrested in connection with an accident, and needed help. Right? That's exactly what we just watched here. It describes to a T what this guy was doing. I don't know if he was one of the conspirators that got arrested or not, but he was from the Dominican Republic, and he was definitely an opener doing exactly what was described here. So, but that's how a grandparent scam works. Once the opener tricks the victim into believing their loved ones were in dire trouble, others working at call centers known as closers impersonated defense attorneys, police officers, and court personnel and convinced victims to provide thousands of dollars in cash to help their loved ones. All right, so important to be aware of those grandparent scams. These scammers, they work in teams. They're good at what they do. They're convincing. And, make sure your loved ones are aware of this scam. Your parents, your grandparents. Right, if you're the parents or the grandparents, you be aware of it in case you get some random call like this. Ask them where they're calling from, then hang up and call back through official channels. But don't trust the number on caller ID. Don't trust any contact information that caller might give you. All important to be aware of. How are we all doing tonight? Hit like if you haven't yet. Next scam we're going to talk about, fake order scams. These fake order scams, I mentioned them a lot earlier when we were kicking off this live stream. And the reason why it's so important to be aware of these fake order scams is we're actually being targeted from all directions. We're getting targeted over the phone. We're being targeted through text message. We're being targeted through email. by these fake order scams or fake purchase scams. And how they work is basically victims receive a fake notification, then an order was made under their account. When the victim calls to dispute the fake order, a scammer impersonates customer support and attempts to steal personal and financial information. Right? So you might get a text message saying an iPhone was purchased. Call this number to dispute it. And someone might freak out. They get that message and they, I didn't purchase an iPhone. They call the number. They don't realize they're calling a scammer. Right? And we get emails that use this trick. We get text messages that use this trick. We get phone calls and voicemails that use this trick. That's why you can never trust the contact information that's provided in an unsolicited contact. And we're going to dive into this one a little bit more here because this one's really important to be aware of. We have some examples we're going to share of this one right now. Starting off with this text message right here. So it's impersonating Apple. The victim gets a random text message. It looks like it's from Apple, and it says your Apple Pay was used for a purchase for $143. And then it says, call this number to cancel the charge. Right, so it's an example of a fake order notification. There wasn't a $143 charge. This is fake. But what the idea is, you get a text message like this. Oh my God, I didn't spend $143. And then you call back the fake number. You call back the fake number, the scammer answers. And this is an example of a fake order scam. This is a text message version. So you get this text message, it's all scam. Trying to trick you into call that number. And the thing that's tricky about these fake order scams is they could claim to be anybody. They could claim to be with any vendor, anything was purchased. So you just have to be on alert for any type of notification that's claiming you're making a purchase. So in this case, you wouldn't call a number back. Instead, if you were concerned it was real, you would go check your Apple account. But don't call a number back. Don't click any links in the text message. So that's the text message version to be aware of. But like I said, we're being targeted from all directions when it comes to these, right? So let's talk about the phone version. And by the way, let me know if you received any of these phone calls that we're about ready to play for you, because these are currently circulating and they're constantly being reported to me. We did videos about this scam, this fake order scam. We included these phone clips that we're about to play for you, and people have been leaving comments. Just a few days ago, someone left a comment confirming they received this phone call. So this one's still circulating. It's important to be aware of this. So this is our first example of a fake order scam phone call. It's going to impersonate Amazon. It's going to say you purchased a MacBook Pro.
This call is to authorize the payment of $1,499 for the recent order of Apple MacBook Pro on your Amazon account. If you do not authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to our customer support representative.
Right, so there it is. That's a recording. And the idea is that you answer the phone, you hear that recording, you say, I didn't purchase a $1,400 MacBook, I better press 1. But that's how a scam works. If you press 1, you get connected to a scammer. And they want you to react like that. That's why they say it's a $1,400 charge. Because they want people to be like, oh, what? They want them to react quickly without thinking it through. Let's listen to another example of one of these fake order phone calls.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.50. If you did not authorize this transaction or wish to cancel, please press 1 or return our call on same number at your earliest convenience.
So that's the second example of a fake order scam phone call. And you notice how that one said call number on your screen it's referring to? That's always a big red flag. When they don't leave a real number to call back, or they tell you to call back the number on your screen, that's always a big red flag that it's a scam phone call. But anyway, so in this example, it said it was Walmart and that you purchased a PlayStation. And they're trying to trick you into calling back and dealing with a scammer. Many different variations of this scam, because again, these scammers, they could claim to be any vendor. They could claim to be that anything was purchased. All right, so it's important to be aware of this whole scam in general if you receive any notifications about an order. And like I said, we showed you a text message version. We just played some phone calls for you. So you're being targeted through text. You're being targeted through phone calls. But also, you're being targeted through email. And we have a story from a victim in regards to that to share with you. This one's from about a year ago. 23-year-old Lincoln woman reported losing $4,100 after falling victim to an identity fraud scam in July. The scam began on July 17th with an email claiming she had purchased an iPhone. The woman called the number provided in the email to dispute the purchase. All right, so let's stop right there before we go any further. There you go. That's the fake order scam. She got an email, claimed that she purchased an iPhone, and said, call this number to dispute it. There you go. That's how these fake order scams work. That's how they hook the victim. That's how they get the victim calling them on the phone. All right, so it's important to recognize that before you call anybody and to know not to call a number, to know not to click the link. To know how to go check your Apple account and see if there's actually a iPhone purchase listed there. But this article then continues to give us some fascinating details behind the scenes about how this scam continued. So she gets the email, the fake email saying that an iPhone was purchased. She gets scared. She calls this phone number thinking she's disputing it, but she's actually talking to a scammer. So then the scammer tells her, you have multiple accounts open in various states and someone's using your identity. Right? This is all fake. This is what the scammer's telling her. According to police, scammers then connected the woman to a person posing as a CIA agent who instructed her to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account. The next day, she was directed to use the money to purchase Walmart gift cards and send photos and receipts. Additionally, the woman sent another $500 gift card to the scammers. So there you have it. That's an example of a fake order scam. In her case, it started with an email saying an iPhone was purchased. And this was a 23-year-old. This was a young woman too. So we're not just talking about older folks falling for these scams. Notice that red flag, though, about gift cards? That's what we talked about it. That's a red flag we mentioned earlier. Any mention of a gift card, it should cause pause. Right? Because the banks never get instructed you to purchase gift cards. The government's never going to instruct you to purchase gift cards. It's pretty much only scammers are going to instruct you to purchase gift cards. So it's a big red flag to be aware of. That's a fake order scam. So be aware of that one. Be alert for that one. Let me know in the chat if you've been targeted with that recently. Want to hear your stories. It's all about spreading awareness, Next scam we're going to talk about is undeliverable package scams. This scam is important to be aware of towards the end of the year and as the holiday days approaches. We're starting to get more reports of them, this scam too. So now's the time of year to be aware of it. It happens all year round, but these undeliverable package scams, they always pick up during the holidays and towards the end of the year because there's so many packages being sent and received, right? So they know more people are likely to fall for this scam. And basically how it works is victims receive a fake notification about an undeliverable package. Usually it's a text message, and it contains a link to resolve. The link opens a fake website impersonating UPS, FedEx, or USPS, and any personal or financial details provided are stolen by the scammers. There never was a package. Let me know in the chat if you've been targeted with this scam before. But we have some examples to share with you. See, here's one. UPS ground, reschedule your shipment delivery. So we attempted to deliver your UPS package on June 23rd. Actually says 23rd. There's a typo right there, right? 23th instead of 23rd. So that's a little red flag. But it claims they were unable to deliver your package, and then they have a link to reschedule it. But it's going to take you to a fake website if you click that link. Another example, a scammer started a group text, and they named it USPS. And the text message says the package does not have a house number, transportation is interrupted, please update. And then there's the link to the fake website. And here's two more examples where the scammers attach a file to the text message. It has a USPS logo. Dear customer, your package has arrived at the distribution facility, but we're unable to deliver it due to incomplete address information. And it says, please click on HTML file, which, by the way, good time to remind you, never open files that you weren't expecting. A lot of times they can install malware on your device, install a virus, take you to a fake website. Never open a file, whether it was emailed to you or text message to you, if you weren't expecting it. Here's another example. Same idea. So it's got a PDF file attached instead of HTML. And you know, some of these examples, these come from inside the U.S. Or this example comes from inside the U.S. This example comes from +63, so I think that's the Philippines. And this example comes from an email address. So you can see that some of these scammers are sending them out through email. Some are sending them out through U.S. phone numbers. Some are sending them out from international phone numbers. So these scammers are using all different methods to reach their victims. But the main takeaway here is if you get a text message like this claiming a package was undeliverable, it's a scam. FedEx, UPS, USPS, they don't send out text messages like these. They don't just notify you by default about packages. You'd actually have to be tracking a specific package and request updates on it. And even in that case, they wouldn't send you updates like this telling you to pay for redelivery. So don't trust any text message you get claiming a package can't be delivered. It's a scam. How are you all doing out there? Let me know if you ever got those texts before. Those text message scams about undeliverable packages. Next scam we're going to talk about. Fake retail websites. These are also extremely important to be aware of, all year round, but especially during the holidays. Let me know in the chat if you've encountered these too. But fake retail website scams. So scammers create fake websites to sell products that are never delivered. Victims are lured in by unbeatable deals and lose money once they pay. These scams often target holiday shoppers or those seeking trending items. Hey, who saw the South Park episode last night with all the Labubus? It was a great episode, but there you go, Labubus. There's lots of fake retail websites right now offering these fake Labubus if you even get them delivered to you. Because scammers know. They know what these hot items are, and you need to be aware and watch out for them. So I'm going to show you some examples of these fake retail websites. A lot of times they'll offer you a product that's worth hundreds of dollars, but they'll say just pay for shipping. So you can see in this example here, this is actually from last year during Black Friday. You can see the fake banner across the top of the screen. But they were offering a pair of headphones valued at $175, just pay for shipping. Too good to be true, right? We mentioned that earlier. You can't trust too good to be true offers. And this is an example of one of those. Any information entered in this website will get stolen by the scammer. Here's another one offering a portable heater valued at $175. And it says just pay $8 for shipping. Too good to be true, and it's a scam, right? And we have another one. This one offers wireless earbuds, which is a hot item. This is valued at $175, but just pay shipping, $869. It's a scam. Any information provided will be stolen by these scammers. And you can end up on these fake retail websites in many different ways, right? You can start off with like an email, a fake email offer that says, free earbuds, click here, and it takes you to this fake website. You might get an ad on social media that pops up saying free earbuds, click here and takes this website. Or maybe you're searching for wireless earbuds for the holidays or to buy for yourself, and you get a website sponsored listing that comes back and says click here for free earbuds. Right? All different ways you could end up on these fake retail websites. Banner advertisements. You could be on a website that's trustworthy that you use all the time, and maybe an advertisement pops up on their site. Because these scammers, they buy advertisements. So you always have to be aware of these fake retail websites. You should try to purchase only from trusted websites that you've used before or know are legit from big retail names. You always check reviews if you're using a kind of no-name website that you never ordered from before, and definitely do your due diligence, researching offers that seem too good to be true, like free earbuds. Say they're valued at $175. You really think there are places giving away free earbuds like that? So be suspicious. Scams extremely common. You're going to see a lot more of them during the holidays. For trending items, Labubu's. So watch out for these fake retail website scams. How you all doing out there? Recognize any scams? Let me know in the chat. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet. Give us a like, follow, subscribe. We're trying to spread awareness about common scams. These scams that target you, they target your loved ones. These are scams that target individuals that you come across day to day. So important to be aware of. And let me know you're watching. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe. You can join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com. And we're streaming live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We do this live stream every week to spread awareness of these scams. And you can help by hitting that like button, by hitting follow, by hitting subscribe, even engaging, leaving a comment, reacting. Show us some love. Next scam we're going to talk about is a fake gift card received scam. This would be the email version. Basically, it's when victims receive an email notification that they received a gift card. When the victim attempts to activate the gift card by clicking a link, malware is installed on their device, or a fake website is opened to steal personal information. Here's an example of what that might look like. You might get an email that looks like it's from Venmo. It says your $50 gift card is here. And it says your company has given you an employee rewards card. Activate your card today. Right, but if you click that link, it's going to take you to a fake website, steals your information, installs malware. So what you want to do in this situation is you receive any kind of notification about a gift card, reach out to the person it's supposedly from. Like in this case, you would reach out to your employer and say, hey, did you send me an employee rewards card? Or if it says it's from a family member or a friend, reach out to them first and say, hey, you sent me this gift card? You're going to want to say thank you anyway, right? So 2 for 1. Reach out, confirm they actually sent it to you, say thank you, and then click the link. But until you confirm it, don't just click the link. It could be anybody sending you these fake notifications. So be aware of this scam. And that goes back to the email scams we talked about. And that's our first batch of common scams for the evening. How are you all doing this evening? If you're just tuning in, let me know you're watching. Say hi in the chats. I have a lot more useful scam awareness examples coming up for you. Probably go for another hour or so. I gotta stay caffeinated. I'm gonna refill my coffee mug in about a minute or two. We can go for about 2 hours. So we'll go for at least another hour or so. Yeah, we've actually been going for 2 hours on the dot. We started at 5:45. Well, close enough. Just updating the agenda for this evening, putting this coffee break in there. Then we're going to go into some snail mail scams. We got some good snail mail scams to show you today, this evening. Hey, Patty, welcome. You got here just as we were taking our second coffee break, and then we're going to continue. All right, cool. We're going to go take our quick 5-minute coffee break, stay caffeinated for you folks so I can give you my best. And we got a lot of good stuff to continue talking about. We're going to go over some examples of snail mail scams. So just scams you might actually get in the mailbox. Because, hey, scammers are still sending out mail with scams. So you need to be aware of that. So we're going to go over that. Got a lot of good examples to share and show you this way you can protect yourself and your loved ones from these scams. So stay tuned. We're going to continue in 5 more minutes. If you're just joining, make sure to hit that like button. Say hi in the chat. Subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. And we're going to be back momentarily in 5 more minutes to continue and share some more scam awareness tips and examples for you to be aware of. All right, we're going to keep going here in a minute. Let me check the live streams, make sure we're still going good. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Looks like we're still going strong over there on Instagram, over there on Facebook. Cool. To those just joining the live stream, welcome to the live stream. We do this every week, trying to spread awareness about common scams. You're joining our free mailing list on scamaware101.com. Click Join Mailing List. You can also follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. So the next batch of scams we're going to talk about is snail mail scams. I'm just getting those slides ready. Let me know in the chat if you've come across any of these scams. we're probably gonna wrap up in like another hour or so. Just say like 8:50. So it'll be like 3 hours and I'll wrap it up. But yeah, let's talk about these snail mail scams. Or these are scams that still come through traditional mail and arrive in your mailbox. Because the way you think scammers did before the internet, they ain't go anywhere. They're still sending out those scams. So you have to be aware of these scams that come through traditional mail. And we're going to share some examples with you this evening about those scams. And the first example is actually a free gift postcard. Right? So before we just shared a email example, right? The free gift offers. But here's an example of a snail mail scam version. And basically, you receive a physical postcard in the mail offering a free gift. When the victim attempts to activate the gift card by scanning a QR code or visiting a website, malware is installed on the device or a fake website is opened to steal personal information. So you might receive something like this in the mail. There's a postcard. And notice how it's offering the wireless Bluetooth earbuds, right? Because it's a hot item. So we saw one example earlier with a fake retail website offering that. And now we're seeing a postcard example of it too. Because again, scammers know what popular items are and how to get people's interest. So you receive this postcard in the mail, and this one has a QR code. You scan it, it takes it to a fake website. In this case, the person who reported it said it goes to a fake website that captures your personal information, your name, address, your Amazon account info, and even your credit card details. So just because it arrives in the mail doesn't mean you can trust it. And even though we're talking about snail mail scams, it is important. I don't want to take a moment and mention the QR code scams. Whether you're receiving it in mail or not, you do have to be aware of QR code scams. We know that a lot of scammers will send you a letter or a postcard with a QR code. But we talked about earlier how people find fake tickets on their windshield, fake traffic tickets. They'll have a QR code to scan. It takes them to a fake website. Or there'll be a parking meter and it has a fake QR code on it that people scan, and they end up paying the scammer, for parking. So you have to be alert for QR codes, whether received in the mail or not. But it is worth mentioning since we were talking about those types of scams. So anyway, snail mail scams. Watch out for gift cards, postcards, offering free gifts, unsolicited letters that have QR codes to scan. All suspicious. Let's talk about inheritance scams. So we mentioned earlier about the snail mail scam. This one's an inheritance scam, and the letter I'm going to share with you as an example of a recent snail mail inheritance scam. But victims are contacted with claims of a large inheritance from an unknown relative. But to claim it, they must pay fees or provide personal details. That's how these inheritance scams work. And just because I'm showing you a letter version, there's email versions and phone call versions of this scam. But in this letter, you can see it has a fake letterhead. It has a law office listed up top. And you see it's dated November 29th, 2024. So this isn't even a year old yet. It was a pretty active circulating scam. And basically, the letter impersonates a law office. It says that you share the same last name as their client. Their client died 4 years ago. And you're entitled to $10.8 million inheritance because you share the same last name. This is all lies, of course. They're impersonating a law office. They're offering to facilitate the whole thing for you. And then at the end, it says, this claim requires a high level of confidentiality. All right, so there's that red flag asking for confidentiality. And what's interesting is the person this was addressed to, they made sure that in the letter, it had the deceased had the same last name. So this way, whoever the letter was sent to, they made sure the last name matched whoever was mentioned in the letter. The fake deceased relative. But a quick Google search returns plenty of people reporting the same letter. The only difference is last name got swapped out. And it's important to be aware of this type of scam. Because the way it works is they'll tell you that you have to pay fees and taxes to receive the inheritance, right? So here they are saying you're entitled to a $10.8 million inheritance. So, think about what the fees and taxes on that could be. Probably a couple $1 million at least, right? So these scammers trick their victims into paying a huge amount of money for fees and taxes on an inheritance that doesn't exist, that they're never going to receive. So that's how this scam works. So you get a letter like this, be suspicious. Just because it arrived, in your mailbox to your home, has your name on it, that doesn't mean you can trust it. So that's an inheritance scam, and that's an example of a snail mail scam to be aware of. And again, just because we're showing you a snail mail version, there's plenty of email versions of this scam too. So it's important to be aware of it all around. Next scam we're going to talk about, a lot of times is referred to as a secret survey scam, but really it's a mystery shopper scam. And again, we're talking about snail mail scams, right? So basically how it works is you receive this letter, and it looks like it's from Walgreens or CVS, and it says, congratulations, you've been selected as a secret survey shopper. Here's your assignment, right? And the thing that's unique about this letter is it includes a check. So inside the envelope, it'll have a check with it. And in this example of the letter, it basically says there's an enclosed check for $2,480. You've been selected as a secret shopper. Deposit this check, and then within 12 to 24 hours, purchase $2,000 worth of gift cards. Right. And the whole idea is the victim's tricked into purchasing these gift cards. They'll deposit the check. They'll go purchase these $2,000 of gift cards. They send them to a scammer. But then 2 days later, that check, it bounces. The bank declines it. It bounces. And the victim now is stuck $2,000 less because he bought the gift cards and gave it away. So just because you get a letter in the mail and it has a check in the envelope doesn't mean you could trust it. In fact, it makes it even more suspicious. In fact, it's a red flag if you get a letter that just has some check you weren't expecting. And also notice the red flag about gift cards, right? Any mention of gift cards. This one was a clever way to mention gift cards, but still, they mentioned gift cards. So it shows that just really any mention of gift cards needs to be considered a red flag. What's unique about this letter, too, is it says... So I actually have two examples to share. But this first example, it says it just wants you to go to either Walgreens or CVS. And it instructs to purchase either Apple gift cards, Razer Gold gift cards, Nike gift cards, Steam Wallet gift cards. So they give you a few different gift cards that they'll take that the scammer wants you to purchase. But this other example, same type of scam. But this other example, this scammer only wants Apple gift cards. And it's instructing the victim to go purchase 3 Apple gift cards. Right? But then it actually gives them a list of stores to go to. Whereas the other one only said Walgreens or CVS. This scammer says that you go to Walgreens, Best Buy, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, Family Dollar, Meijer, Kroger, Safeway, Dollar General, Walmart, Speedway, Albertsons. All right, so this scammer doesn't mind what store you go to as long as you get them Apple gift cards. But anyway, there's another example of a letter you would receive. And it impersonates Walgreens and CVS. Has a check included with the envelope. You know, in this one it says $1,500. You know, they'll go purchase $1,500 worth of gift cards. Whereas the first example says $2,000. So, but the scam's all the same. Details like that will vary, but the scam's all the same. So if you get a letter like this, don't trust it. If you get an envelope that includes a check, don't trust it. And by the way, after that check bounces and you're left $2,000 broke, the bank will hit you with like a $35 fee for depositing a bad check too. So just keep that in mind. Just to add insult to injury. So hey, watch out for those secret survey check scams. They're out there. People are reporting them. We did a video about this too on our YouTube channel. And we're still getting comments, recent comments from people confirming they received letters like this. So be aware of this one. All the scams I'm talking about this evening, they're all active scams currently circulating, all important to be aware of. And we're going to keep on going here. That was the only snail mail scams example we have, but we have a lot more scams we're going to go over with right now. How are you all doing tonight? Let me know you're watching. So we got a few people in the YouTube chat, which is awesome. It's always good to see people in the YouTube chat. A little quiet over on the Instagram and Facebook side. I don't know why it's hit or miss over there. Sometimes out of nowhere it's like 300 people are watching, then it's like 1. So I don't know. If you're watching on Facebook, let me know. Maybe the counter's not right. Maybe it's funky. But regardless, if you're just joining, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. Show some support. And we're just trying to spread awareness about common scams. And one of the ways we do that is through these live streams. So your likes help, your subscriptions help, your follows, they all help. And again, we're just trying to put something good out there and spread awareness of these scams. These are all scams that target individuals. These scams target you. They target your loved ones. They target your friends. They target your family. So they're all important to be aware of. And the next batch, if you're just joining us, that's okay because we still got a really good batch of scams right here that we're going to discuss right now. And we're starting with arrest warrant scams. We recently did, well, not so recent, but we did a video about these arrest warrant scams. That's when a victim is contacted by a scammer impersonating law enforcement. The scammer claims an arrest warrant was issued and fines must be paid to resolve it. The scammer then threatens the victim with arrest if fines aren't paid immediately. And it's going to be a scary situation. You know, the victim answers the phone. They think they're talking to the police, right? And the thing is, we know that the caller ID, a lot of times, these scammers, they'll make it show the police's phone number. They'll make it show the sheriff's phone number. So whoever they're impersonating, they'll make it look like it's really them calling, right? So this victim gets a call. They think that there's an arrest warrant going to be issued. They're told that they missed jury duty a lot of times. They'll say that's why the warrant's going to be issued. And you got to pay immediately. Otherwise, we're going to send deputies over there right now and arrest you, right? Scary stuff. So a lot of people fall for this scam. And it's important to realize this is a very common scam. There's lots of warnings coming out now from the police department and local sheriff's offices because they're the ones being impersonated. They don't like this. So there's lots of warnings about this scam going around from them all over the country. And look, if you get a call like this and you're concerned that's real, all you do, you say, where are you calling from? You know, they tell you whatever sheriff's department they're impersonating, right? You say, okay, great. Hang up and then call back directly to confirm. Don't call them, but look up the official phone number, reach out directly. But yeah, know that this is a common scam, and no one's going to try to force you immediately over the phone to make a payment that's really from law enforcement. You know, they're definitely not going to tell you to go purchase gift cards or anything like that. So if you get a call from someone impersonating the police, don't freak out. Just be aware. There's a lot of scams. And don't rely on what the caller ID says either. You got to hang up and you got to confirm all. Again, we did a video about that scam. We included some news clips in that one from some of the warnings from local law enforcement. And also another thing about that scam is these scammers were providing fake paperwork as well. So they'd get you on the phone and they'd offer to email over fake paperwork that has your information, you know, photoshopped on there. So you can't trust that either. That's why you got to hang up and you got to call official channels and confirm that way. These scammers are clever. Oh, I just got a notification that the chat disconnected and then reconnected. Interesting. Well, let me know if the stream got impacted. Looks like it's still good over here. Yeah, it looks like we're still strong on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Let me know if there's any problems for anybody watching over there, but I think we're good. YouTube, looks like we're good. We're going to keep on continuing here. Next scam, bank impersonation scams. Look, this one's important to be aware of. Scammers impersonate the bank, usually claiming suspicious activity was detected under a victim's account. Victims are then tricked into withdrawing, transferring funds to the scammers impersonating their bank. The caller ID might even display the bank's phone number, even though it's a scammer, right? So this one we know that when these scammers call impersonating the bank, they'll make the caller ID show the bank's phone number. And a lot of times these scammers might even know your bank already. They'll know what bank to impersonate. So you need to watch out. Don't just trust anybody calling up claiming to be from your bank. You need to hang up. No matter what they know about you, you need to hang up and call your bank directly. Here's an example of a text message scam impersonating the bank. And what's important to note about this text message is the person who provided this to me, they actually received a phone call right before receiving this text. They received a phone call. They didn't answer, but the caller ID said it was TD Bank. Right? They didn't answer the phone, and immediately after, they got a text message that's impersonating TD Bank. Right? And the whole point of this scam is they're trying to trick the victim into thinking a purchase was made. In this case, they're saying $250 at Walgreens. Right? And if the victim replies no, like, no, I didn't make this purchase, the scammer's going to try to get them on the phone and eventually try to steal their money or convince them to withdraw their money. So if you get a text message like this, be suspicious. And there's a few red flags about this text message as well that you could tell it's a scam. One of the first ones is it doesn't indicate the account, meaning usually if this was a real text message from the bank, it would have had like the last 4 digits of the account, or it would have indicated a little bit more of what account number it was talking about. The capitalization is a little off. The T in transaction is capitalized for no reason. The N in not is capitalized for no reason. So little things like that indicate this may not be legit, right? And then the phone number. If this had been from the bank, it would have came from a short 5-digit short code number. It wouldn't have come from an actual phone number, right? A lot of banks and organizations, they'll send you these notifications from like these short 5-digit code numbers. So it wouldn't be a full phone number like this. So those are all red flags. This wasn't really TD Bank. But it's an example, though, about how they try multiple methods. They'll try to call first, then they'll send a text message, right? They're persistent, and they're using multiple methods to reach you, and they know things about you. Like they already know what bank you use. So be aware. And you always got to hang up and reach out to your bank directly if you're concerned. They're getting a call or a notification. That applies to emails, too. All right, let me know in the chat if you received any type of scams like that. Next scam we're going to talk about is tech support scams. This one's important, definitely important to be aware of. A lot of older folks actually fall victim to this scam. So important to be aware of this one. These scammers are ruthless. They try to take everything you got, like a lot of these scams. But how these tech support scams work is a lot of times they're kicked off by a fake virus alert. And everybody's susceptible to receiving this alert. It doesn't matter if you're on your computer or your phone or your Apple device or your Windows laptop. It doesn't matter. If you're browsing the internet, you could get one of these fake pop-ups. Right? And one of these fake pop-ups, what they do is they make you think you have a virus, and they say, call this number for tech support. And if you call that number, you're connected to a scammer. Right? So a lot of times, these tech support scams, they get kicked off with a fake alert. Sometimes scammers will actually call you over the phone and they'll impersonate Microsoft or someone, and they'll say we detected a problem. But a lot of times, these get kicked off from fake virus alerts that you'll get while you're browsing the internet. So if you get any fake pop-ups, you need to be suspicious of those. And we have a bunch of examples here to share with you. This first one impersonates McAfee antivirus, right? So you're browsing the internet, minding your own business, then boom, you get a big scary alert like this. Red, your PC's infected. It's got the McAfee logo. Right? It says call McAfee helpline immediately. But the big red flag is it has a phone number to call. A real virus alert won't have a phone number to call. So that's important to remember. Right, but this is a scam. If you call that number, you'll be connected to a scammer. And this is when they say, yeah, sure, I can help you. Let me access your device. And they get onto your device. They steal all your banking info. It's not good. This next example, it impersonates Norton by Symantec. Again, big and scary. Threats detected in red. Right, system critically infected. It says to call the support helpline. But if you call that number, you're connected to scammers. Because it's important to recognize, too, these scammers, they're sitting in a call center waiting for you to call, right? They're dealing with people falling for these scams all day long. It's their job. So you'll call, they'll impersonate tech support. They'll be very convincing, but it's a scam. Another example, this one impersonates Windows Defender. And it's pretty legit looking. It's got the Microsoft logo, the Windows Defender logo. The capitalization is off. It's got a capital S over here. So that's a little indicator that it's off, the capital S in Microsoft. But for most part, it looks pretty legit, right? This is contact Windows support. If you call that number, you get connected to a scammer. So it's important to be aware of these tech support scams. I mentioned earlier that everybody's susceptible to this scam. It doesn't matter if you're on an Apple device or Windows device. So here's a couple examples where you're actually targeting Safari users and Mac computers. Right? Virus found. Your Mac computer has 13 infections. Please call tech support as soon as possible. Right? But if you call that number, it's a scam. And again, that's how you know this is 100% a scam. A real virus alert wouldn't have a tech support phone number to call. Another fake alert. It's got the Apple Care logo. Warning, macOS is infected with viruses and other malicious applications. All right. This says call Apple support. It's a fake number. If you call, you're actually calling scammers. Here's one more. Impersonating Apple. It's got the Apple logo there. Call Apple helpline. Right, if you call, you can connect to the scammer. So you need to watch out for these fake pop-ups, these fake virus alerts. Because it's the way that scammers trick you into calling them. And it's known as a tech support scam. We see that a lot. Next scam we're going to talk about here. You're seeing these all the time. Let me know in the chat if you got any of these. Road toll scams. That's when these scammers, they impersonate road toll services like Easy Pass, SunPass, Fast Track, and they claim that an unpaid toll is due or that a ticket is due. This one kind of evolved, so keep that one in mind too. But they claim an unpaid toll is due, and they usually contain a link to click. Right? But if you click that link, you're taken to a fake website that steals any information you provide. The payment details, personal details. There never was an unpaid toll due. Right? And this scam's been going around for so long now, for like a year. And I'm sure most of the viewers have probably seen this scam. But a year ago, it was impersonating Peach Pass, Good to Go, Drive Easy Maryland, Easy Pass, North Carolina Quick Pass, SunPass, Fast Track, North Texas Tollway Authority, right? But since then, it's evolved and it impersonates so many more Department of Transportations and all these different states. Now that impersonates a DMV. It just makes up authorities like the Toll Enforcement Authority. So there's so many different variations of this unpaid toll text message going out now. At the end of the day, if you get any text message that claims you owe money for a toll, don't trust it. Go check out your account directly. Don't click any links. Don't call any phone numbers. There's so many different examples. This one on the screen right now is a text message that says, pay your toll in Florida by January 22nd in order to avoid excessive late fees and potential legal action. Right, so scary stuff. There's a link to the fake website. Here's another one. Impersonates Easy Drive, Massachusetts. Reminder, your bill for $6.99 is due soon. Please visit. There's a link to the fake website. Here's another one. Your vehicle has an unpaid toll bill. To avoid excessive late fees on your bill, please settle it promptly. $6.99 is fake link to fake website. Here's one that just has an attachment. It doesn't say anything. It just comes with an attachment. And remember what we said about attachments. Don't ever open unsolicited attachments you weren't expecting, right? Because we'll open it so you don't have to. If you opened it, that's what this attachment would have looked like. Toll violation notice. This is a whole letter saying you owe $9. This is paid now. Links to fake website. So let's say you did click on the link. It might take you to a website that looks like this. Pay an invoice or violation. Right, this one impersonates Good to Go, Washington State Department of Transportation, the Good to Go service. It looks legit, but it's not. This is a fake website. It's got their logo, their colors, right? But if you click payment, it takes you to enter your credit card details, and the scammer gets it, steals it. So you can't trust these text messages claiming you have an unpaid toll due or a unpaid traffic ticket due. If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Give us a like if you haven't yet. Follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. Say hi in the chat. Let us know you're watching. Give us some reactions. Click that heart. Next scam we're going to talk about. Wrong number scams. So scammers reach new victims by sending text messages to random phone numbers. When someone replies wrong number, the scammer attempts to continue the conversation to build a trust with the victim. As trust is gained, this type of scam evolves into a romance or pig butchering scam that ultimately steals money from the trusting victim. Right, so these wrong number scams. You ever wondered why you get so many text messages from wrong numbers? It's because it's a scam. Right, so these scammers, they just send out text messages. They could be anything. They could say hello or just have a fake name, or you say hi Emma, or hi Anna, or hey Josie. It could really literally say anything. And the whole point of these random messages is just to get someone to respond saying, who is this? Or wrong number, right? Because they're trying to verify your number's real, first of all, or that you're on the other end. So they're going to send you more texts. But what's going to happen is this scam's going to evolve. They're going to try to gain your friendship now, right? So the whole idea is they just want you to reply. And here's how some of these conversations might go, right? This person gets a text out of nowhere. It says, have a cup of coffee together. Replies back, who is this? Rightfully so. Well, that's what the scammer wanted. Right? Person replies back, I thought it was my friend Laura. I'm Zoe. Yeah, wrong number. Right? And they give you the story. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Laura's number. They always have the story. I met at a party. I put in wrong zip code or area code, whatever. And the person replies, no, that's good. Have a great day. Right? Conversation to end. Right? It's been established as a wrong phone number. Conversation to end at that point. But because it's a scam, this scammer's going to keep replying. They're going to say, thank you for kindness. I realized I entered the wrong area code. Where are you from? And they're going to start asking about you. You're going to ask where you're from. They're asking your age. There's another one. Get a random message. I'm Margaret. You Lillian. Person replies, no, I'm Izzy. I'm really sorry. I think I made a mistake between your number and Lillian's number. Hope I didn't disturb you. Replies back, that's okay. Right? At this point, conversation should end. Right? It's been established. The wrong number. Scammer keeps going. Thank you for your understanding and patience. You're a kind person. Hope you have a good day today. I'm 36 years old. Would you mind telling me your age? Right? So now it's asking your age. The last example asked for your location. This one asked your age. Here's another one. Hi. That's how it starts. A random text message says hi. Right? Reply back. Hi, who's this? Fell right into the scammer's trap. Right? Because that's what they want. They want you to reply back. Who is this? That's why you should never reply. Even to messages that look like they're wrong number. Don't reply. It's not worth it. So the person replies back, I'm Karina. Are you David? We met last week at Linda's party. No, sorry, you had the wrong number. Right? At that point, you should stop. But the scammer keeps going. Oh my gosh, I checked the wrong area code. A lot of times they'll say it's the wrong area code. I hope it doesn't bother you. That's no problem. Whatever. Again, should stop at that point. The scammer keeps going. Thank you very much. You were very friendly and polite. Hope we can be friends. Nice to meet you. My name is Karina. What can I call you? Replied back, Pat. Right, I said, you have a beautiful name. I'm from Malaysia, currently living in Los Angeles. Where do you live? Right, so you can see how they try to keep the conversation going. Eventually, they're going to ask you to keep talking on WhatsApp and then probably try to loop you into a cryptocurrency scam or a romance scam. But anyway, that's how these wrong number scams work. They rely on you just getting a random text message and they want you to reply. They want you to reply, who is this? Or to say it's a wrong number. We did a video about these wrong number scams on our YouTube channel. And it's actually our most viewed video. We just broke 100,000 views a week or two ago, which was amazing, a couple weeks ago. So the first video had 100,000 views, amazing. So that was awesome. But one of the examples we share in the video is this example right here. It starts with a random text message. Hi, Byron, I'm Jane. And it actually includes a picture with it. So it's important to keep that in mind. These scammers, they'll include a picture and they'll include other things to try and get you more convinced they're talking to someone. And what's interesting about this example is the text message came in at 1:58 p.m. And we didn't reply. There was no answer, right? 4 hours later on the dot, here's a follow-up text. Have you gotten the pictures I sent? Right, so at 5:58 p.m. Right? So what's important to recognize is this isn't even a real person at the other end. This is a bot. This is a bot that's programmed to send the same text message out to hundreds of thousands of people a day. Right? If people don't reply after 4 hours, it sends a follow-up. Have you gotten the pictures I sent? Right? So it's a bot. It's programmed to gather this information about you. It asks you where you're located and your age. And eventually it'll connect you to a real scammer. But it's all automated at first. And they're trying to hook you. So don't fall for these text messages, even though if it has a picture of a pretty girl attached. Don't fall for it. Don't go replying, guys. It's not worth it. Be aware of it. So wrong number scams, watch out. Dave says he got one on Telegram today. There you go. He said that his wife gets the unpaid road toll ones a lot, the traffic when she doesn't drive. Yep. Someone commented on one of our posts before the holidays, actually, which, by the way, anybody's watching, be aware, be on extra alert for those unpaid road toll and those fake traffic ticket alerts, because they always pick up during the holidays, too. Right? We just got through with the holiday weekend where people are traveling, so be aware if you get any of those text messages, don't fall for it because you were traveling. Don't think that you missed a toll because you were traveling. Right? The scammers rely on that. Next scam we're going to talk about here is employment scams. And these are examples of some text messages you might get. A lot of times those claim to be from a recruitment center. See, in this example, they claim to be with the TikTok recruitment center. We're hiring 3,000 backup talents. They said you can make $15,000 a month only working an hour a day. Wouldn't that be great? But it's a scam. Don't reply. Here's another example. Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm with Recruiter at CleanSpark. She said several recruiting firms recommended your resume. So someone who has a resume out might get tricked by this, right? But it's important to recognize this isn't the way that you would be contacted. And also, at the end of all these examples, they give a WhatsApp number to call. So there's that red flag too. They're telling you to call WhatsApp. But if you get text messages like these with too good to be true offers, right? They're offering you $200 a day for 30 minutes of work. All right, too good to be true. Here's one more example. This one impersonates Timu. I'm Sarah from Timu Services. Your background and resume have been recommended by recruitment agencies. Earn $50 to $500 a day. If it's a scam, don't trust it. Let me know in the chat if you received any of those scams. I know they're pretty common. All right, we're running ahead of schedule here. We're probably going to wrap up a little, well, like half an hour. We're going to wrap up around 8:50, 9 o'clock. Still got about 30 minutes to go here. I'm just seeing what else we should squeeze in the next 30 minutes here. It's a pretty quiet night. I'll just jump to the, let me jump to the scams right there. So we're going to continue with more scam examples here. Yeah, we're going to continue with more scam examples. All right, cool. How are we all doing out there? If you just joined, welcome to the live stream. We've got another 30 minutes or so coming up here. We're going to share some more common examples of scams circulating, targeting regular folks, targeting you, targeting me, targeting your loved ones. All important scams to be aware of and actively circulating now as we speak. So that's our goal here, spread awareness about these scams. We do this live stream every week, so please follow, like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, say hi in the chat. It all helps get the content out there a little bit more. So we appreciate it. can also help out financially. Scamaware101.com/donate. Scan the QR code on your screen too. We appreciate that. Any donations, always welcome. There's a donate link at the bottom of our website. You can click. Also, we have super thanks and memberships enabled on YouTube as well now. So if you want to help out that way, we'll take it. Let's continue with some common scams to be aware of here. And next one we're going to talk about, government impersonation scams are extremely important to be aware of. And the first one that we're going to talk about is Social Security impersonation scams. And there's a few different versions of these types of impersonation scams that you need to be aware of, right? So first one is scammers impersonate Social Security officials and claim there are problems with your number or benefits. A lot of times they'll reach out to you over the phone and claim they're from Social Security and there's an issue, or you'll get an email that claims there's an issue, and they'll threaten action unless you make immediate payment or provide payment information to them, right? So you need to watch out for that. You get phone calls from people claiming to be for Social Security. Be suspicious, especially when they start demanding payment, right? But there's another version of this scam where you'll get an email where it might claim to be a statement or a notice from Social Security with a link to download it. And that's a scam too. So you have to be suspicious of anything like that. And I'm going to share an example of one of those scams with you right now. And what's concerning is in the first view here is how it might look on your phone when you receive this email. It's impersonating Social Security. And it's a little trickier to tell on a phone what's going on. You can't tell the email addresses easily, right? All you see is Department of. When you see the link in the email, it looks like it points to ssa.gov. So it's a lot trickier to detect as a fake email on your phone. But when you examine it further on a computer, you can see the full email address, and pretty quickly it reveals, oh, wait, this isn't really from Social Security. It was coming from a Kenyan email address, .co.ke, right? And then if you hover over the link and see where it actually points to, it doesn't point to ssa.gov. The scammer tries to make it look like it does, but it actually points to some random website that you can tell if you hover the mouse over. But it's much harder to tell that on a phone. So it's important to be aware of this type of scam. Now, if you click that link, you'll be taken to a fake website that's probably going to install a virus on your device. And they're impersonating Social Security. The email claims, to see your statement, please download the file from this link. We hope you find your new statement useful and informative. Thank you for using Social Security Administration's services. Right? So this is a Social Security scam. That's coming in through an email. They're trying to claim it's an update about your account. It's a statement. But they're just trying to trick you into clicking that link and getting infected. So you need to be aware of these impersonation scams, whether it's an email claiming to be from them or claiming to be a statement from them or a phone call claiming to be from Social Security. In fact, one more thing about Social Security scams before we talk about the IRS scams next. Here's an actual picture of what an envelope from Social Security looks like. This is a real envelope from Social Security. They're having so many issues with scams that they're warning on their envelopes, for people, be alert of these scams, right? They're actually including this on their envelopes as warnings. Scam alert. Scammers are pretending to be government employees. They may threaten you, may demand immediate payment to avoid arrest or other legal action. Don't be fooled. All right, so they're warning us right here on their envelope. If you receive a suspicious call, hang up. Do not give them money or personal information. They report the scam at, and that's oig.ssa.gov. But this is actually an actual picture of an envelope from Social Security, like a legit one. They're trying to warn people about these scams. They know it's a problem. How are we all doing out there? Let me know you're watching. If you're just joining, hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. Say hi in the chat. Lots of good stuff. Spreading awareness about common scams here. Next scam example we're going to show you is actually a fake IRS scam, IRS impersonation scam. And you need to be aware of these all year round. They pick up during tax season, but They're active all year round. So we're very similar to Social Security scams. You need to be aware of phone calls of people impersonating the IRS, claiming to be with the IRS. A lot of times they'll threaten you over the phone. They say you owe back tax. You got to pay immediately. Right? But look, the IRS is aware of scams, though. They should have no problem with you hanging up and confirming. Right? But these scammers, they're going to try to keep you on the phone. They're going to try to scare you. They're going to try to force you to pay immediately. Right? So you always have to be suspicious of anybody calling up impersonating the IRS. Also, you have to be alert for any text messages that claim to be from the IRS. And in this example here, this text message claims to be from the IRS, and it claims you're eligible to receive a $1,400 economic impact payment. Right? And it says, please provide your personal information, and we'll deposit the amount into your bank account. It has a link to click. Right? But it's going to take you to a fake website that steals your bank information. And this example that you see right here on the screen, this text message impersonating the Internal Revenue Service, this is actually provided by the IRS this year. They warned everybody about this text message that was circulating this year. They said there's no $1,400 economic impact payment. If there was, they wouldn't send text messages like these. So if you get a text message like this, it's 100% a scam. Don't trust it. Definitely don't click the link. And don't provide any information. Another one you have to watch out for during tax season. And right now, these are still circulating. I get calls all the time like these. These fake tax forgiveness phone calls. We're going to listen to one of those right now. Let's listen to an example of a fake tax forgiveness phone call you might get.
Hi, this is Lindsay Carter from the Activation Department. Give me a call back at 833-850-2527. Our records indicate you have some back taxes owed. You're now eligible to apply for them to be forgiven with the Zero Tax Balance Program. Any back owed taxes can be enrolled to be forgiven through this program. But we do need to sign up this week. Just give me a call so we can start the process. It's really quick. And I'll keep your file open here. So my number is 833-850-2527. If you've already resolved this, call back and press 2 to be removed. Can't wait to speak with you. 2.
Hey, spoiler alert, she doesn't really have your file open on her desk because that was a recording. And it's a great example of how these scammers are using AI now to sound more realistic. Because it sounded pretty convincing like it was a real person. But it wasn't. It's a recording. and they're saying the same thing to everybody. You know, they're saying you have back taxes owed, whether you do or not. It's the same thing. And call back this week. We can only help you this week. So they're trying to scare you into calling back immediately. Right? So all important things to be aware of. Don't trust these types of calls if you get them. If you think you got some tax issues, reach out to an accountant, a real accountant. Don't just trust phone calls, random phone calls like this. And our last scam that we're going to talk about here. Dave says he receives several times a month. He gets those robocalls about his loan application been approved, and he never filled anything. Dude, I get those all the time too. One of these days I'm going to call him back just to see what it's all about. But yeah, it's obviously a scam. Probably to steal. They're probably like, you've been approved. What's your bank account number? We'll deposit the money. All right. That's a little scam. So this last scam we're going to talk about, I've been calling it a discount scam, but it's interesting. So basically how it works is you get a phone call impersonating your cable company, for example. The example I'm going to play for you is actually impersonating Comcast. And they tell you that your promo pricing is going to expire today by 50%. Your bill's going to go up 50%. And they leave a number for you to call back. When you call back, what they're going to try to do is they're going to tell you, well, there's another promotion going on with Target. And you have to go buy, if you pay with a Target gift card, you can keep the same price. But you have to pay it with a Target gift card. Right now, you have to go purchase a $500 gift card. Right? So the victim goes purchase a gift card. They think that they're still getting the deal that they were paying for. And they unknowingly give the gift card to a scammer, think they're giving it to their phone company. A little confusing, but the main idea is I want you to recognize these phone calls before you even end up interacting with these scammers. So let me play a phone call for you. And if you ever get a phone call like this that's impersonating your internet provider, instead of calling back the number they tell you to, if you're concerned that's real, reach out directly to your phone provider. Go look at a bill or go look up the real phone number and call them directly. But don't trust a phone number left by a call like this. So let me play an example of this phone call. And again, in my case, it impersonated Comcast, but it could impersonate anybody's provider. So here you go.
Hello. This voicemail is from Comcast Xfinity. Your current 50% discount on your monthly bill will expire by the end of the day. To maintain your reduced rate, call the number on your caller ID immediately. This is your final reminder to act. Call back now. Thank you.
And there was that red flag saying call back number on caller ID, right? They couldn't even leave a real phone number to call. So that's always a red flag when that happens. But yeah, if you had called back, they would then tell you, well, that promo expires, but we have a new one with Target. Go purchase a Target gift card and pay with that. And you don't realize it, but you're giving a scammer a gift card. So anyway, that's how that one works. And you bypass it all by not trusting the number that came in, right? It told you to call the number on caller ID. Don't trust the number on caller ID. Instead, call your cable company back directly, or your internet provider. So that's our last batch of scams we're talking about this evening. I actually think it's probably a good time to wrap up this live stream. You're going about 5 minutes, we're going for 3 hours. So not bad. Last chance to hit that like button, subscribe, follow, give us some reactions in the chat. Everybody who tuned in this evening, thank you so much. Over on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. We appreciate it. All the likes, all the follows, all the subscribers. Anybody that commented. Don't forget to join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com. Click join mailing list. Be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, YouTube. We appreciate you all. The likes and the follows really do help. And of course, you want to give us a couple bucks, super thanks, we'll take it. We have YouTube's memberships enabled and YouTube super thanks enabled and a donate link on our website as well. So scamaware101.com/donate. But don't feel obligated. If anything, just join our free mailing list. Scamaware101.com, hit join mailing list. Give us a couple follows on social media. We appreciate that too. So everything helps. And look, the whole point is to spread awareness. Check out our YouTube channel. A lot of scams we talk about this evening, we have videos for. So you can share those videos with loved ones. Keep getting the word out there, because that's what this is all about. Getting the word out there and spreading awareness to avoid getting scammed, right? So it takes a village. Anyway, that concludes this evening's live stream. Thank you so much again for everybody who attended. I appreciate you all. Tune in next week, next Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, stay safe.